All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another live stream. We're doing another weekly reaction this week. And today, most voted on in the poll is Angron, How Freedom Turned to Damnation, uploaded by the Amberking. This was actually uploaded just last month there, actually. This is one of his more recent uploads. I believe, actually, looking at his channel, I know he actually just released a new one as well. Let's just see here. I think he just released a Sevatar one as well, so that'll be interesting too. Maybe we'll put that on the next poll if you guys want me to check that out. But without any further delay, Angron, How Freedom Turned to Damnation. Angron obviously being Primarch of the World Eaters. We have checked out a video on Angron before, but I believe it was the Warrior tier video. I think that was actually the first stream that we ever actually, the first reaction stream that we ever actually did on the channel together. So yeah, it'll be awesome to do a little callback to Angron, see his story again. I really do enjoy the recap, and Angron, I have to say, while I do think he's a bit rough around the edges as a Primarch, I have to say, his upbringing, his actual story arc, how he becomes the Angron we all know and love for sure. It's actually a very interesting story, and it is pretty how you say it is pretty sad, actually. You know what I mean? Like, from him going, being basically a slave fighter his entire life, breaking free of those chains in a sense, right? Prepared to die after having the butcher's nails installed, prepared to die with his men, and then the Emperor whisks him away, and then he has to come to grips with the fact that he's still alive when he should, in theory, be dead, and now he has to face this reality he's in. It's basically, I enjoyed the story quite a bit, and I'm going to be interested to see the Amberkings' interpretation of it. If you guys enjoy these reactions, please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe if you're not, because it does help out the channel a ton, and I do appreciate it a lot. Also, I don't think I've slept since last night. When I did that stream with Tent, pretty sure I've been awake that entire time. I'm trying to think, did I have a little nap in between here and there? Maybe. But either way, yeah, so we're gonna get on with this stream, and we're gonna obviously like up, captions on, quality is 1080p. Without any further delay, guys, let's get it. Oh wait, do I have paper? Hold on, office maneuver. Do I have paper? I do have paper. Got some paper right down here. 2 seconds. Let me move my keyboard up. Got a pen here. Does this pen work? Let's see. Yes, sir, it does. All right. Let's get it, guys. Also, thank you guys for tuning in as always. Awesome to see you guys here, Andrew. Obviously, Colton, awesome to see you guys here. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, let's get it.
What would you know of struggle, perfect son? When have you fought against the mutilation of your mind?
Starting off hot.
When have you had to do anything more than tally compliances and polish your armor?
Damn, dude.
Which one of us landed on a paradise of civilization to be raised by a foster father? Which one of us was given armies to lead after training in the halls of the Macragian High Riders?
Holy shit.
Honor is resisting a tyrant when all others suckle and grow fat on the hypocrisy he feeds them.
Oh my god.
You know nothing of honor.
Running. A child running through snow that burned the sun.
That was pretty, off rip, very hard, wow.
Was roaring in his lungs. Whooping shrieks emanate from the pack chasing him. He doesn't understand their harsh syllables, but knows enough that they are trying to kill him. One tackles him into the snow. He is gasping as his hands find purchase upon a rock. He begins to swing it down, again and again, until warm blood splashes his face. He feels the creature's fear and pain, as if it were his own. He cries but doesn't stop swinging, until the creature before him stops breathing. The boy stands, coated in head.
Those
to
are
foot
Eldar,
in the life
right?
essence
That are
of his
hunting him
hunter.
at the start there?
He turns to the handful of beady eyes watching him. The roles have changed, and now they are the hunted.
Time for some hardcore corn. Oh my god.
Stumbles over stones that cut his feet. He has lost nearly all feeling in his
Primarch of the Planet Munchers.
and
Holy shit.
exhaustion threatens. He has no idea where he is, who he is. Only
course not.
flashes of a face through glass are left to him. He hears voices, calling out from beyond sight. These are not the monsters. These are lower, closer to the boy's own when he had cried out in anger and pain, when he had swung those stones. He catches sight of one of them. They are similar to the boy, only swaddled in furs. It lifts a strange device, and needles shoot out and pierce the boy's skin. The boy cries out in pain again. Then his limbs begin to feel even more sluggish. The boy lashes out at the figures surrounding him, shouting and riddling his flesh with even more needles. Finally, the boy's vision.
They're tranking him.
The boy awakens. Metal is clamped around his hands and feet. He is amongst others like him now, dressed in rags and shuffling nervously. He looks up. A tiered amphitheater roars with the sounds of thousands. Horns blare from around the edge of the pit, and a crowd erupts in cheers. Large circular vents built into the sides of the walls twist open.
I have to say too, like, what a crazy, and I don't think it gives, like, I don't think we give it enough credit here. What a crazy, like, opening to Angron's story, you know? Like, in his perspective, right? Like, you awake on a planet, you know nothing, you got massive amnesia, and essentially, right, you're getting hunted by fucking aliens. And then after you fight off these aliens, now suddenly you see another human, somebody who, okay, you think, all right, maybe this is your friend, but no, they're actually just tranking you instantly. So, like, every encounter you have is, like, bad off rip with not only aliens, but also humans, your own kind. And, like, I guess it's just, like, it's a really traumatizing, like, fucking upbringing, you know, for Angron. Like, right off rip, you know what I mean? Very fucking traumatizing, you know? I can see how, like, he might have a bad taste in his mouth, you know? It's very easy to kind of get that feeling with him.
Large circular vents.
Like, why am I so angry all the time? Now, obviously, the butcher's nails, but...
And a torrent of brackish liquid sluices down
I get it, you know?
the ground. The tang of the fluid fills the boy's nose, and he sees the
hey, Cole, good to
fumes
see you,
curl
man.
from it as it rushes over the floor of the pit. The people in chains rush to the center structure within the Colosseum. The boy feels his first human contact. A hand, as the others around him help each other. Silver orbs above crackle with sounds that the boy is beginning to recognize. They are offering commentary. Cheers for the crowd as the first screams begin. The towering central structure is crowded with people, and those at the bottom howl in pain as the brackish liquid begins to eat away at their feet.
Jesus.
Some try to scramble up the steps, only to be seized by those beneath them and hurled to their deaths. Humanity abandons them, replaced by the frothing animal instinct to survive. And the crowd seems to love this. The boy scrambles upwards. He is easily stronger.
Classic
than
photo
anyone.
there, or illustration,
the
I
howls
guess.
of panicking screaming. The boy feels his instincts trying to take over. He could end them. It was as if the movements were painted before him, but he squashes the urge. It feels wrong. The water is now a blurry pink sludge of decomposed.
And, like, that's the thing, even amongst this, like, in his opening act, like, when he's seen all this death, when he's seen, like, humans just, like, killing each other to survive, right? Angron is actually like, you know, if this feels wrong, you know what I mean? I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't, like, I don't want to kill them, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's very fucking, it's sad, you know what I mean? Like, because he really had the potential to be a really, really good Primarch, Angron did. Like, I feel like the potential was 1000% there. He really got fucked, like, hard, you know what I mean? Like, he really, really got screwed over. It's so sad, man.
It feels wrong. The water is now a blurry pink sludge of decomposing humanity. Every scream, every death, the boy feels it within, as if the pain was his own. And the fluid is still rising. It is clear only one can survive.
Angron is peak tragedy, like, yeah,
He
exactly.
begins to kill, trying his best to cause the least amount of pain for them. He ends the last dozen, standing upon the tallest point with barely the space for one. Behold, people of Desia, for your coin and happiness we have a victor. The silver orb barks at the crowd as the cheers die away. We present this boy who has won the devil's tears. Which house has wagered their coin on this victory, and thus has won them to their stable? The orb pauses. House Valkyr! And the crowd cheers again. The orb moves closer to the boy, asking for his name. He has no name. We name thee Angron then, the orb pronounces. Child of the mountain, in the old tongue. Behold, Angron Valkyr, your newest combatant. This game? Through great effort, the boy speaks for the first time.
I guess it kind of makes sense that he'd like take like the family name, I guess. If he's, especially like, I guess if he's a slave in a sense. But it's also so weird to me how like they're even going to like, because in a sense it's almost like an honor to give like your last name to somebody, right? So like Angron Valkyr, but you're just like a slave, fucking like, you know, you're to the pits, you're gonna fight for blood, we're gonna treat you like shit, you know what I mean? Disobey us, we're gonna give you the whip, you know what I mean? It's just, it seems weird that they gave him their last name almost. Is that just me? Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just me.
Through great effort, the boy speaks for the first time. The orb simply laughs. The child lashes out, grabbing the orb and trying to crush it.
Oh.
It sparks with blue light, making the boy's muscles cease.
It's got an electrocution
this
function.
One has passion. Still some strength within you yet, eh?
More like on this world, the last name
wave
signifies possession. Okay.
Prone form. That is very good.
It's like a stamp,
Valkyr.
for lack of a
You
better
will
word.
need all the strength in the world for what we have waiting for you. Oh, Kuniglis wore that pot last, said a gap-toothed gladiator. Angron had been slow, and all that was left from the blood-stained table of equipment was a helmet, still wet from its previous user. He died. Not well, not quick. The gap-toothed veteran continued. Pray his shade is gone. You avoid the same. Angron placed the helmet upon his head, as the machines began to prod the mosh of men and women in chains. Die well, said the gap-toothed gladiator, looking back at Angron with his ugly smile. The sound of drums and cheers grew.
Do I have time to watch right now?
Spilled
Watch
from
the
the
VOD later?
cracks in the
Yeah,
ceiling
thank you,
above.
Admiral. I appreciate that.
The
You have a
gladiators
great rest of your
began
night,
to
eh?
roar,
Appreciate
beating
that, man.
fists against their chests and ramming their heads together in clangs. The gladiators were pushed into a coliseum even larger than before. Dust began to kick up from hundreds of feet as the roar of the crowd grew to deafening heights.
I don't know. I think the reason I fucking like Angron's like upbringing story so much is because there's actually like a lot of detail on it, seemingly. Like, you know, some upbringing stories, there's really not like a whole lot to go off of for certain Primarchs, and that makes sense, right? But for Angron, there's actually like a pretty detailed story, and also, man, it's just like, it just gives off like Spartacus vibes. You know what I mean? Like if you ever watch like fucking like what is it, like Spartacus Blood and Sand on Netflix, dude? Yeah, Spartacus, literally. Yeah, like it's totally like the vibes of Spartacus, and it's I don't know, I fuck with it hard. You know what I mean? I like it.
Hundreds of feet as the roar of the crowd grew to deafening heights. Angron could feel the unrestrained fervor in the crowd, a monumental lust for blood, and their lack of empathy and desire for others to suffer. An axe swung near Angron's face. It was slow, and he stepped aside effortlessly. Combat bloomed around him, as he sensed the axe wielder's desire to kill him.
No.
Angron punched him square in the heart, and the
Oh.
gladiator fell into spasms on the ground,
Oh my
his
god.
last breaths leaving him. Angron picked up the axe.
He fucking punched him in the
turned to the
chest
violence
and
around
stopped his
him
heart. That's
and
crazy.
started to swing. Angron, Angron. The crowd roared. Impacts rippled down his arms as Angron killed.
It's literally not
and
fair.
killed. This time his revulsion was lesser, until finally he stood over the gap-toothed gladiator from before. He feels his fear and thinks to spare him, until a knife punctures his gut.
Oh.
Now the revulsion is gone, and for the first time Angron feels hate. The axe now feels natural in his hands, as the final swing descends. Months have passed. He had been a child with no name. Now he is Angron. and larger than any mortal man. The gladiator slave hove is a
And that's
cave,
only after months,
damp
too.
and near absent of light. Men and women are huddled together across the floor, wearing the tattered clothes and manacles of slaves. Some growl.
He pulled
in
that
hate.
punch hard, he only fell.
Some speak in madness.
Yeah,
Others
what if he's
cry out
just-
in their sleep.
I could imagine, honestly, like, if Angron, like... Oh, sorry. It's an alarm going off there. I imagine it's just, like, that guy is basically just like that scene from, like, Terminator 2 where, you know when fucking, you know when the Terminator, like, goes to, like, free fucking Sarah Connor? And he like, has to, like, fight those, like, psychiatric guards, like, off of her, basically. He, like, pushes the one girl, and it's literally just a fucking push. And it's like it KOs her, like she's knocked out after it. It's like the most like wimpy bullshit thing. If you like pay attention to that fight scene and you just watch just Arnold just do that and she's just KO'd on the ground and you're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I don't get paid enough for this. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna fucking feign being KO'd. Like, that's totally what that was right there. That fucking gladiator didn't want that smoke. He's just like, nah. I'll take the punch. I'll just fucking like, yield, you know? Like, just feign that I'm dead.
Some speak in madness. Others cry out in their sleep.
He's really like dramatizing it, you know what I mean?
Onomaeus. Angron growls. What kind of monsters are they? Who come here to
Now, obviously it's
revel in our
Angron,
agony?
so he like is
An
dead
old man.
instantly, but
Covered
it'd
in
be funny.
scars and white in his beard. Hands Angron a cloth to clean the blood from his face. Onomaeus sits next to the boy he had taken pity to in the months before.
Boy, you take
There
a
was a
pity to.
kindness in his eyes. And for the first time in Angron's life, he feels love radiate from another human being. You are the mountain child, yes, says Onomaeus.
This is actually how
Never
this
seen
guy
anything
looks.
other
That's
than that
impressive.
peak, and these caves, and the hot dust. You've never seen where these monsters go to lay their heads. The lives they find themselves having to live. I have. I was born into it. The slums, the desperation they breed. Waking each day to fight with too many others, over less than there was the day before. Feeling trapped. Onomaeus shakes his fist, sending a rattle through his chains. Just as surely as we are here. Sometimes, he lays a hand on Angron's shoulder. Sometimes what you need more than anything else in the world is to know that there is someone lower than you.
No.
Onomaeus looks up, as if looking past the crowds beyond the cave. Those people aren't monsters. Spare them your anger, because there are more than enough real monsters that deserve it. It was his 10th birthday, yet now Angron was far larger than any man. Once
10th
again,
birthday.
he kills
Wow.
in the red sands before a crowd that chants his name.
It's also the case too of like Angron, like, because we see so many other Primarchs, like 10 years in, bro, like they're fucking owning their planet already. Like they're already like, you know, shit's already done. They already have like the planet under the Imperium's banner, all but, right? And Angron is just a fucking slave gladiator. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so depressing. Like, the fact that he's just like, he was not able to accomplish anything. Like, he got screwed immediately, and that's just it. You know what I mean? That was it. Like, and it's a planet too with like that weird like mix of technology where they have it, but it's still like based upon like an old feudal society, but they still have technology in a sense. It's that weird mix where it's like they could counter a young Primarch, you know what I mean? In a sense. It's kind of nuts. Now, obviously to a point, of course, you know, as we see, but it's just, it's an interesting mix. Like Angron, again, he just got really screwed by circumstance here.
Once again, he kills in the red sands before a crowd that chants his name.
Just,
The killing no
yeah, it's in
longer
the
causes
domain
him
of
pain.
Ultramar. Yeah,
Now
yeah,
he
that's
fights
true.
as hard as he can.
Yeah, that becomes like a point of contention actually, like later between Guilliman and Angron, doesn't it? Because Angron's like, what the fuck?
The killing no longer causes him pain. Now he fights as hard as he can, to give honor to his opponents. The sands are his
Hey
home,
Vincent, how you doing, man?
and those shackled with him are his family now. Their weapons are chained to them. They twist the ropes of scars, many having black ropes to mark honorable defeats. Angron's alone is red, signifying victory. He inflicts it with great effort to prevent the supernatural healing he seems to possess. For months, he and his fellow slaves had fought machines, twisted monsters and each other. Even witches who foul minds flayed men's skin, and boiled others alive with their accursed touch.
Damn, they're throwing psychers in there?
They never heal the burning hatred he has for the witch. And yet for all he kills, Angron is jealous. He is jealous of the dead, for their torment from the noble High Riders has ended. Angron roused. He felt the numbing effects of narcotics wear off, as he awakened in darkness. He was being compressed by walls as hard as stone.
Pro-child gladiatorial fighting? Oh my god.
Worst of all,
it's only for entertainment, right?
A eating worm, a voice cries out. Angron recognizes it as his friend Gladiator Hex. They've put us in a damn yetting worm, Hex wails. Placing victims within the Noserian sea worm was an amusing event to their ruling High Riders.
My god.
They sipped their wine and feasted as the time ticked away. Either the victims found a way out, or suffocated. Angron
what kind
breathing,
of...
holding his breath.
What kind of sick fucking, like, torment is that? I don't even see how that one's entertaining to watch, you know? Like, no, Saul, maybe I just don't get it, you know? I've never had the opportunity to feast and drink and, I guess, watch somebody suffocate or get out in front of me, but, like, come on now. Personally, I don't see the entertainment in that one. Now, two people hacking each other to death, okay, maybe, you know, I could see where that could be, you know. Yeah, you know, a bit interesting perhaps, but this, I don't know. Some sick shit, you know?
Or suffocated. Angron ceased breathing, holding his breath as long as he could to save oxygen for Hex. Take hold of me!
Sadism, isn't it? Yeah, cried out. Pretty much.
He reached down and pulled Hex's arms around his waist. Hold on to me, Hex. Angron began to claw his way forward, through the giant's digestive tract. Stomach acid began to sear his flesh. The pain was excruciating. New vigor surged within him. So many times he had fought to kill, and now he fought to save a life. Through enormous jaws, Angron clawed forward, the light finally reaching his eyes as a wave of cheers erupted from the arena's crowd. Angron spluttered forward, holding the still form of Hex, and he wasn't breathing. Angron began to desperately compress his chest, willing his friend to live.
Angron no CPR?
Is trying to resuscitate the vaunted Hex. Can he do it? Will he prevail and drag him from the jaws of death itself? Speak with your coin, friends. New odds are made. What will you wager? The silver maggot eyes barked. Angron heard the...
I'm surprised they're even allowing him to, like, attempt resuscitation on him. Like, but I guess it's, like, the whole point of, like, they're turning everything into a distraction, everything into a game. And especially in this case, everything into commerce, you know what I'm saying? You can monetize this, right? It's literally like the whole Hunger Games concept of like, yeah, we're gonna have them like kill each other, of course, right? Oh, but then suddenly, they're not gonna kill each other because, you know, they're in love. So two people from the same district, they can do that, right? Oh, but then at the end, never mind. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, it's totally like a fucking, it's totally like a way to draw interest and create drama. And it works very effectively on this world. Again, as they were talking about, I think like, what was it? Sometimes it pays just to have somebody lower than you. Like, I think that's especially just like prevalent on this planet. You know what I mean? It shows so hard.
Will you wager? The silver maggot
Last time he did CPR, he stopped a heart. Yeah.
Heard the laughing.
A single punch and he just like fucking cracked the dude's rib cage.
Living languishly in their pews. House Thalkir and others enjoying the misery unfolding before them. And when Angron fails, they begin to laugh even harder. They didn't want you to save him, says Onomaeus, taking a seat next to Angron. The giant cleaned his friend's blood from his hands, but he is unable to meet his foster father's gaze. That isn't what our lives are to the High Riders.
CPR, aka collective punch rate.
The
Holy
only
shit.
thing they want from us is something for them to laugh at, and something to cheer over when we die. That is all we will ever be to them. The two hear whimpering next to them, as it echoes around the cave. Angron peers down at a youth, haunted by his first blooding in the Red Sands. The youth kicks and cries, the horror of what he has seen terrorizing his dreams. Angron rises. He walks over to the youth and places his hands upon him. Angron closes his eyes.
When's the next Red Dead stream? We're probably going to do it probably after this stream. I'm going to probably sleep, so probably tomorrow. I got a bit of work I need to do on another project. So I plan on getting that out of the way, and then after that, probably during the day, I want to do a stream. But I also want to, that being said, and I'll probably make a post about this probably tomorrow morning. There is the that Fallout video that came out, and I do want to check that out. The animated video that came out, Hobbit was talking about it. I do want to check that out. We might actually do another stream, and we might do a reaction stream to that as well. So there is going to be some stuff coming this weekend for sure. But yeah, we're going to be doing Red Dead probably either early in the morning, like 5-6 a.m. EST, or like midday, probably. We'll see.
Closes his eyes. He sees visions of blood and pain, screaming and hate. Angron feels it all as if it were his own and winces. Then the youth stops writhing, and serenity overcomes his features. Onomaus stares at Angron as the gladiator pulls his hand away. The old man looks between the becalmed youth and Angron. What did you do? I don't know. Angron shakes his head. What is the first thing you remember, Angron? The very first thing. Khold. The mountain? Onomaus asks. Angron frowns. Different from the mountain. This was an unnatural cold. Metal, not stone. There were voices. Then light. Then he grips his head. I can't remember. You aren't meant for this place, says Onomaus. Wherever you came from, whatever it is that you are destined for,
check the vid I sent you.
Within these walls. And one day, these caves and these chains will not be able to hold us.
Ooh.
And you'll be free to find your destiny. My destiny is beside you, Onomaus. With my brothers and sisters, living
I got you.
Hot dust. The grizzled fighter smiles. Then free of the hot dust we shall be. Other gladiator slaves approach nervously. They have seen what Angron has done, and too desire the respite.
Yeah, we could maybe do a video on that sometime, Fear.
Angron sat, his features racked with pain, as for the first time in lifetimes, the slaves on Usiria's red sands slept peacefully. Angron felt it all. Lifetimes of torment inflicted by tyrants. Tears of blood streaked down Angron's face. He and his people shall one day be free. Two warriors in mismatched places.
But a lot of shit's gotta happen first.
Yaconis and Turgidian. They wear the Remisium, a pair of bladed iron horns upon their helmet. It is this mark, more than any other, that conveys to Angron that these warriors have walked the Berserker's path for too long, and can no longer see anything but blood. Cables hang from their skulls and dangle like dreads. Angron recognizes it instantly. The butcher's nails. An implant that causes unbearable pain, except within the depths of bloodlust and rage. Angron and Onomaus stand alone. Those two have been forced to take the nails. His mentor whispers to him. A warrior who wants to live has no defense against those who doesn't care if he dies. The old warrior salutes, in the gladiatorial custom. His honor is unanswered, and the berserkers let out a blood-curdling howl and charge. Angron hefts his axe, battling in a desperate struggle to match his opponent's ferocity, whilst keeping his mentor alive. After 17 minutes of grueling battle, that nearly cost Angron and his mentor's life, Yakonis and Turagilion's headless corpses finally slam against the red sands. The crowd roars, screaming Angron's name. The silver-orbed maggot eyes finally descend.
I just want to say real quick, 17 minutes for a gladiatory or a gladiator fight, even though these guys are pretty high league. Like, Angron is a Primarch. I don't know, 17 minutes, that's a fucking long time for fighting to go on with blades and shit, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I expected a couple minutes. Like, usually these types of fights, I feel like realistically, if they were equal opponents, potentially they could go on for a bit. But I feel like the vast majority of them would honestly be like 2 to 5 minutes, maybe even less, just by like the virtue of like fighting with bladed weapons and whatnot, like they are in the combat style that they are. Especially like, again, like, although you are trying to, like, especially as a gladiator, kill people in a flashy way, you know, you're about that crowd allure. They had a lot of fucking style to them, of course. You're not trying to die, you know what I mean? And again, quick kills great favor. You know what I'm saying?
The silver-orbed maggot eyes.
If you're good, you're good, you know?
You two are the greatest warriors and favorites of the crowd. What say you, my people? Shall we see who is greater? Angron's blood runs cold as the people of Desia roar in their assent. A single word hushes the thousands to a pin-drop silence. No. No? Sneers the maggot eyes. The machines cackling with irritation as they swarm around Angron. It is not the place of Angron Thalkir to say no. Fight now, and kill him in spectacular fashion, and we shall forget your disobedience this one time. I will not fight him, Angron says defiantly. If you want to feed more blood to these people so badly, then come down yourselves and face me. Or do the paper-skinned high riders lack the courage? Angron, Onomaus warns. No, snarls Angron. No more. Our whole lives we have killed for them. I will not allow them to take you as well. Angron can feel the pride and love swell within his mentor. Onomaus.
Like, and in a sense, Angron, I get it, right? But I feel like the mentor, oh, what the fuck is his name? You know, for those of you who have watched Game of Thrones, you know the Half Hand? You know how he, like, fights Jon Snow? Like, when the wildlings are watching, so, like, you know, Jon kind of gets an in with the wildlings. I feel like his mentor here is kind of has to do the same thing, you know? Just start swinging on him, you know? Start fighting him. Like, I know he doesn't want to do it, but, like, just start doing it, you know what I mean? You got to make it. Because, like, Angron's going to win this fight. We know that, right? He'll win. It's unfortunate, but he will win. But it's like Angron is going to fucking die, or worse, of course, as we know, get the butcher's nails installed into his fucking head, right? And then with what comes after that, you know, a lot of bad shit. I don't know. His mentor needed to take one for the team here, unfortunately. I know. Difficult situation, but fuck.
Angron can feel the pride and love swell within his mentor. Onomaus spreads his arms wide, turning to where their masters watch. Come on then, fight us. We'll use no weapons if that'll put steel in your backs rather than jelly. For the first time in Assyrian history, the people openly laugh at the High Riders.
Torren Half Hand, that's the one.
You are dogs, born
Torren.
to bleed for your betters. The maggots bark.
I always
Your
forget his
lives
first
have
name.
No value, and never have. And a dog who does not cringe before its master must be altered until he does so. Nails, nails, nails. The crowd begins to roar. Unbearable, agonizing pain. Angron feels the effect of High Rider narcotics wear off, as in tandem a skull-splitting agony lances into every fibre of his brain. He howled in a rage so deep his throat nearly tore. It was only hours later, when the biting of the nail settled to levels where conscious thought came back, that Angron realized he was chained deep within a High Rider tower. He barely remembered anything. He had flashes of the Red Sands. Flashes of a crowd roaring his name as he was splitting a skull.
Time for the crazy to begin,
Blood
unfortunately,
soaking his
yeah.
hands. And when he realized
It's literally all downhill from here.
he felt his heart break. A haunting cry sounded for 3 days and nights, as Angron wept for the only man who had ever loved him. The man who had spent his life fostering an uprising and freedom for his brothers and sisters. A man who called him son. Who dried the bloodstains.
Stream comes with a lifetime warranty.
Taught him everything
If it should break, fray, or spindle, you can send it back to the factory. You have it repaired for free. Activate your warranty by pushing the like button. It's right, that's right.
Fond memory was met
Hit
by
that
the
like
stabbing
button, you'll
of the
definitely get the
nails.
warranty back, for sure, for sure.
There was only one emotion that offered reprieve from the biting. And Angron had plenty.
That's a good one, I like that.
Rage. I expected more.
Oh.
Angron whispered. His voice, once gruff and deliberate, now was marred with a guttural rage. The mountain snow cold didn't register on his callous skin. It had been nearly a year since Angron had leapt from the red sands in the bloody uprising, followed by thousands
Wow,
of
we're
his
already in the
brothers and
uprising.
sisters.
Damn.
The High Rider armies had come, bearing firearms and mechanical constructs, wrought from their twisted vaults. Yet none could match the ferocity of slaves who had spent a lifetime in combat. To the mountains of Angron's discovery, the once champion of the Red Sands led his people, enacting a guerrilla campaign that earned their epithet, the Eaters of Cities.
The Eater of
Angron
Cities.
stared down at the High Rider youth.
What do you? So I'll be honest, guys. What is your guys' thoughts on the Eater of Cities? Now, I'm not trying to be that guy. World Eaters. Now, World Eaters has a ring to it, okay? But Eater of Cities, I just don't know if it's got. I just don't know if it has the right pizzazz to it. You know what I mean? I just don't know. Definitely, it gets the message across. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're trying to like base your faction name off of like your intent, I feel like yeah, definitely 100%. It's to the point, of course. I just feel like they need a little bit more spice to it. That's all, you know.
Of cities. Angron stared down at the High
World
Rider.
Eaters? Now that goes fucking hard.
Frozen in fear,
Eater of
his
Cities,
broken
it's almost too
construct.
long. Too many
Once,
syllables, maybe.
When I was still and growing, I
There are
thought
only
we
cities at
people were
this point? I know,
divine
I know.
beings who shaped the lives and fates of us who lived in chains. Then I tore your gates down.
Need to shorten
And
that
what
down.
did I find? Men, weak, paper-skinned little men like this.
Instead of Eater of Cities, they should shorten that down to like the gang like syllables. Be like EOC, you know what I'm saying? EOC, oh my god. EOC, Eater of Cities. Man, that goes hard. They can start like tagging that shit everywhere.
Men, weak, paper-skinned little men like this.
City Eaters. There you
jabbed
go.
at the nails. To me.
City
Angron
Swallowers.
traced a gubby finger along the man's skull.
Wait a
But
second.
there are no gods. Nothing to stop me from vindication. And nothing to save you from it. He lowered his face, until the breath slashing from his nostrils made the man beneath him squirm. Make plenty of room in whatever darkness
Hold
I
up.
am sending you to.
Yeah, literally.
Back within the cave,
I said it and I was like, damn.
Angron took stock of what remained of his rebellion. 56 gladiators were left alive.
Fuck.
He remembered the fallen, memorizing every one of their names, their faces, their victories. He remembered fighting with them and against them, turning their triumph ropes together and never gloating as they twisted black and he always red. They had carved a bloody path, taking satisfaction for every High Rider they killed personally. He cut deep wounds into his own flesh, cut so deep even he would scar, just to draw enough blood. For the mountain was barren, and there was little else to consume.
Me and my
their
loyal
lethal
swallowers. Oh my god, dude.
Angron did this
Holy
for
shit.
them willingly, for the butcher's nails had robbed him of all other happiness except his family.
There needs to be a parody of like Angron's early life where it's like Angron and the Swallowers and just like them like going and raiding the countryside and whatnot. I feel like that would be an amazing parody, dude. I'm just saying. I'd watch that shit, you know. The City Swallowers. Angron and the City Swallowers. Dude, that would be fucking that's like free content right there.
Them willingly, for the butcher's nails had robbed him of all other happiness except his family. Angron and his family sat close together. In the last
Angron and the Swallowers is wild.
For the bitter mountain winds.
Yeah, dude.
He looked into each of their eyes. He saw no fear. The end was coming. Soon the converging High Rider armies would find them, and there would be no survival.
Fuck.
Only a choice.
Sorry to be cracking jokes at such a serious time in the video.
A choice of freedom.
Yeah.
A
Angron's
choice
about to
of
get taken
destiny.
now.
We fight them here. Now, while we still can,
Yeah.
said Angron. If we die, we die. But not to this mountain. We fall free, people. Fighting together as brothers and sisters. And taking as many of those paper-skinned High Rider bastards with us to hell as we can. Chuckles echoed around the cave. Laughter reigned that night, as they traded stories. The nails bit in Angron's mind, but he shoved down the pain. He would not let it take this away from him.
Primarch power, no gag reflex.
One last
Oh my
time,
fuck.
the Eaters of Cities slept in peace,
What the fuck?
as Angron took away their pain.
That's crazy.
Dawn rose. Angron and his Eater of Cities saw the growing shield wall of grey,
It's
marching
like
up the
Fulgrim's
mountain,
Primarch power,
their
dude.
High Riders at the center. Each of the Nosirian nobles was unique. Every one of them a monument of gilded excess, wholly different from their fellows. Some of them sailed through on the air on great silver wings, whilst others were borne aloft by bulky gauntlets, or reclined upon filigreed couches. They wore animal masks, all exquisitely crafted into gaudy overindulgence, and inlaid with enough gems to feed a kingdom. With his brothers and sisters by his side, Angron charged. Gladiators were torn apart by range volleys.
See, it's unfortunate, right? Because they say, oh yeah, you know, enough jewels to feed a kingdom. Motherfucker, this planet's just rich in jewels. They probably don't have no food. Like, the mines on this planet probably run so deep, but like fucking 5 or 10% of the planet's actually arable for, like, you know, mass farming, you know? They ain't got that. Angron, don't be silly. You don't know economics, all right? You got to stick to the business you know, right? Like, listen, it's like if a meteor full of gold came and crashed into the earth, right? And everybody just had gold. It's like we wouldn't be rich. Gold would just be fucking worthless. You know what I'm saying? It's the same with the diamonds with all the high riders, you know? They overindulgence to an extent, sure. But to them, it's just like, you know, this shit, you know, fuck. Jewels buys me bread, you know what I'm saying? We shit jewels here, you know? We got that shit everywhere.
Angron charged. Gladiators were torn apart by range volleys.
Come on, Angron.
Until they smashed into the shield wall. Nosirian bodies were sent flying, carved apart. Heads ripped from torsos, Angron reveled in his family's slaughter. Axes in hand, Angron carved bloody vengeance, until he caught sight of a High Rider he recognized. The arena announcer.
Oh.
A master of his personal torment. Angron leapt higher than any mortal man could, slamming down next to the terrified noble, sending showering blood and snow and rock around him. All tyrants must die. The thought
Yeah, I
sang in his
absolutely
head
would not be
as the nails began
the arena
to sing.
announcer and hunting down
He
Angron.
grasped
That's
the petrified
crazy.
man and lifted his body above his head. He pulled the man apart with ease and roared.
Oh.
He was amongst them now, and to the song of his families and his death, he prepared to gut the scrambling High Riders. He reeled back his fist until a white light enveloped him. His punch never landed. Time froze. He watched the blood spray from a dying king guard,
Oh, man.
splurting into the air in a spreading nebula of crimson. Though his body was locked in place, Angron found his mind and senses were still within his control, and they gravitated immediately to the presence that appeared before him, in a blinding sphere of light.
What have they done to you?
The voice was thunder and ice in his brain. Angron's nails bit deep.
I'm just saying, to like his boys on the ground there, this would totally look like, and I know like this is what breaks Angron the most, is it probably looks like he like ran from the fight, right, to his men. And obviously he didn't, it really wasn't his choice. But like all I can picture, right, this is like This is like when you see like your officer like shoot the driver of like your logistic truck, fucking push his body out of the driver's seat and like start driving the truck like back to like the rear lines, you know what I mean? And you just like watch like your only officer just like leave you on the front. That's basically what this is. He's just mutinying, you know? Like, damn, crazy.
The voice was thunder and ice in his brain. Angron's nails bit deep.
Obviously, like, not Angron's fault,
demanding
but like,
that he kill the speaker. And then everything
shattering,
else.
You know what I mean?
Whispered Angron, finding that he could still speak.
Who are?
I am the Emperor.
Angron had a stroke.
You are coming with me.
Where?
Beyond this place. To the stars.
My brothers. My sisters.
Don't worry about that.
I won't abandon them. No. Whatever it is you want of me, I refuse. My place is here, with my true kin. I fight here. I die here.
The voice was silent for a moment. Angron almost sensed regret in the thunder that echoed through his mind when it spoke again.
Then I am sorry.
There was a storm of light, and an excruciating sense of tearing. Angron thudded to the ground,
Pause.
but it was no longer covered in snow. His knees smashed down, cracking a floor of shining mosaic tile. The scent of blood was gone, replaced by stale ozone. His eyes stung from a sudden golden light, not from a weak sun of Nuceria, but a constellation of floating orbs gifting illumination to an immense vaulted chamber. The largest of them hung at the center of the chamber.
You could have won Angron's complete
brilliant
loyalty
sphere
here.
of
Yeah,
radiance
like
of
straight up,
captured sun.
absolutely could have.
Angron recognized it as the source of the voice. Price's artworks covered the walls.
Like, it really makes me think, like, what Big E did to Angron, like, and I guess this, like, kind of feeds into, like, the whole, like, you know, is the Emperor, like, doing it on purpose, like argument, you know what I mean? But, like, he had to have fucking known Angron was going to turn out the way he did when he collected him the way he did. Like, again, he could have made Angron the most loyal fucking Primarch if he just saved, like, the 50 or so, probably less at that point, individuals that were left alive fighting alongside him. It would have taken Big E literally no extra work. He's already fucking transporting a Primarch out of there. There's no reason he can't transport 30 mortals. Like, let's be real here. And it would have just, like, you know, it really would have solidified, like, their relationship right off the bat. Like, hey, I did you a favor. You're kind of indebted to me. Now you're going to do me a favor, right? No, it just didn't work out that way. Instead, it's just like a relationship based upon fucking hatred the entire time. I don't know, Biggie. He really fucked it. Unless he did it on purpose again. I think maybe he did it on purpose. Hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Recognized it as the source of the voice. Price's artworks covered the walls, taking pride of place between torn banners and a myriad of exotic weapons. The floor shook beneath Angron, and his ears itched from the electric thrum of machinery. He fought to shake off the disorientation, and realized he was not alone. A phalanx of golden armored warriors surrounded him, each holding a crackling halberd longer than they were tall. Seconds before, Angron had been in the center of a battlefield, and the butcher's nails were still in command of him. He saw strangers on all sides of him, brandishing weapons. The nails saw blood, begging to be spilled. The closer of the golden warriors took one step further, and Angron killed him for it. A blink of an eye was all it took before he cast the corpse to the ground, torn
Jesus.
in half from collar to groin by his bare hands.
Just kills a
The
custodian.
others advanced, the halberds at his throat and spasming with angry chains of lightning. Angron found a dozen weaknesses in each of them, angles left open and postures vulnerable. He would make this entire room red, until you couldn't see the gold. He would
Cease!
Angron cried out in the renewed invasion of his consciousness. The nails rebelled against it, and did the only thing they had the ability to do. He fell to his knees, stomach clenching as it sent a torrent of blood-laced vomit onto the deck. The searing light he believed a caged sun.
I don't think you would need to engage in any combat. No, like, Again, like, you could deploy, yeah, sure, you could deploy a combat force to the planet and kick the asses of the High Lords there, sure, but that's not even necessary, and I wouldn't even advocate for that, right? If you're trying to just leave the planet as it is, you know, not meddle in their affairs, you know, just try to be as, like, to the point of why you're there, i.e. getting Angron out of there, like, yeah, but they could have, you know, deployed a couple custodians, whatever have you, mopped up that mess. But they also could have just, like, easily teleported fucking everybody else up at the same time. Like, yeah, Big E has that capability. He has that potential. He just fucking didn't do it. He just didn't want to. Couldn't be bothered, I guess. I don't know. You know? It's so strange.
The searing light he believed a caged sun was in fact a being. Angron saw the silhouette of a man, or at least the shape of one, at its center. The source of the voice was stabbing into his skull.
Guilliman showing up would have been ideal, yeah.
Parting to allow the
Guilliman probably could have
closer.
Had a little bit more tact
Angron
to the
snarled.
situation.
The very proximity of the entity causing his nails to bite.
Where am I?
He managed to hiss between clenched teeth.
You are on my ship, away from that planet.
Angron glared up.
My brothers, my sisters. Where?
Dead Angron.
What transpired below
Dead.
was regrettable. But we have not the time. You are
What?
meant for far grander things than a mere
We don't have the
servile
time.
war.
The arrogance of the voice, the preening familiarity of it, rose Angron's ire to boiling.
That's crazy.
If you are so mighty, why not help us? Why not step down from your golden palace here, down into the mud where the real struggle is born out? Instead, you rip me out from my destiny, from the only chance I had to ever grasp serenity, to fall a free man beside those with whom I twisted the rope and cast off the shackles.
Because I am the Emperor, and my eyes are set upon the galaxy, all her stars and worlds, and not simply the wars or tyrants of any single one. So shall your eyes be set, as you take up the mantle you were brought into this life to bear, the mantle of Primarch, to command your legion and unite the stars beneath my banner.
Something cold and crumbling welled up inside Angron at those words. It was the same sickening realization he'd had.
5 minutes max, yeah,
The reason
literally.
why this Emperor.
Literally. The no time is fucking crazy. I don't want to hear the Emperor say, I'm sorry, Angron, but we simply just didn't have time. That's fucking such a lie. Like, didn't have time. Brother, you're the Emperor of mankind. In theory, all you fucking have is time, right? Like, at this point. Like, give me a break. What are we talking about here?
The same sickening realization he'd had on the cliff. The reason why this Emperor, this blazing, incomprehensible being, had robbed him of a noble death. Why he hadn't let Angron fall with his brothers and sisters as he had sworn he would. He needed Angron, just like the High Riders did. Blood sport and the hot
Well,
dust.
I wouldn't say just like the High Riders
Conquest
did.
of
That's
the
a little
galaxy.
unfair, is it
It
not?
is all the same. Two different masters.
Come on now.
But in the end, Angron was always the slave.
Oh.
I died down there.
Angron said bitterly, drawing the radiant Emperor into his fiery gaze.
With my brothers and sisters, freezing, starving, and free. Emperor or no, creator or no. All you will ever get of me is a shell. The ghost of Angron, who never left Nuceria.
The Emperor looked back at him, expressionless and aloof. Angron felt static crawl over his skin, and the reek of ozone flood his nose.
Then a ghost will have to suffice.
Damn, dude.
He killed them, one by one.
Oh no.
These so-called warhounds. These warriors had come to him, absent of weapons, begging him
Are we
to
gonna
take
see
his
Captain
rightful place
Khan?
as their father. And he killed each one that darkened the door to the chamber they kept him prisoner in. Angron howled in rage. He had been taken from his glorious death by his brothers and sisters' side to meet this Emperor. So many answers in his life were finally his, and he hated it. He was what they called a Primarch.
I enjoy how, like, they're straight up.
Crafted being.
Straight up, Angron, like, just got here. He just got teleported aboard his own ship, right? And immediately, like, after learning all this information, yeah, everyone I know is dead. Straight up, now they're choosing the time to be like, okay, let's go introduce ourselves to our new Primarch. I get they're probably giddy with excitement, but, like, come on, guys, you gotta read the room a little bit here. Like, come on, surely.
He was what they called a Primarch. A superhuman crafted being, made from the genetic material of one calling himself the Emperor of Mankind. From Terra, Angron had been whisked into the Immaterium, the Warp. A terrible accident that landed him on Nuceria and in the High Rider's chains. From Terra, this supremely powerful being, the Emperor, leads a great crusade to reunite mankind under one banner. And leading his armies are crafted warriors, sons enhanced and altered by Angron's own genetic material. The Warhounds, they call themselves. A legion of over 100,000 warriors, for Angron to command in the reconquest of the galaxy, spreading enlightenment and the imperial truth. The rejection of
enlightenment.
mysticism. It was slavery. A trading of one tyrant for another. An invader who would force their will upon others. For weeks, Angron had howled in this tortured cage. He had been locked away within a flagship's quarters, as these so-called sons came to him one after another, each to plead that he lead them. He killed the first one before he had a chance to speak. Then, one by one, they came, all not resisting as he smashed and gored their bodies around the
100k,
chamber.
but couldn't just send him down to command the battle to stop. Like, 100k, yeah, he's got 100k a start. He's under him, right? And I'm sure, like, that would have been quite the, like, introduction to his legion, right? Like, hey, let's show up and save our Primarch, like, physically. And then, like, you know, he can trust us. You know, we're legit. We're turned on. And also, we got to, like, do our Primarch a favor right out the gate. I don't know. Missed opportunity.
As he smashed and gored their bodies around the chamber. A dozen corpses of white and blue armor lay stained around him. Until finally, another entered. From the ceiling, Angron seized him by the neck and lifted him to his own face. He saw the instinct rise in this so-called Hastati. But again, his hands dropped to his side. "Fight me!" Angron screamed into his face. Angron raised his fist ready to strike, until for a moment the nails didn't bite as deep. He pulled the Hastatis close and whispered into his ear. "Why? I can see what you Hastatis are made for. You're made to spill blood just as I am. You're not born normal men, any more than I was." His voice rumbled so deep.
I mean, a lot of them are born normal men, though.
Angron peered down and saw an image that made his nails sting. "Why are you smiling?" he roared, as he tossed the Hastatis across the room. The sound of metal crunching reverberated, as the Hastatis plummeted to the ground, blood leaking from his armor. To Angron's surprise,
Jesus.
the Hastatis began to rise shakily. "My name is Khan, and I am a warrior."
Captain Khan
himself. Yet he would not fight. He wouldn't know how to give him a gladiatorial bow. He had no scar twists. This Khan and his brethren had been sent in place of the one that had stolen him. This Emperor. A ruler sending others to do his dirty work.
Of course.
Angron knew the kind. Khan
That's outside of the
continued to
Emperor's
wheeze out
pay
his
grade,
words.
dude.
"We are your legion, made from your blood. We have fought from terror.
Throws an Archon across the room, but punches a
worlds.
human in the chest and just makes him fall
Hounded
over.
species into oblivion in search.
Yeah, I guess it was a light
for
throw.
you. We do not fight you because you are our Primarch. We will never raise a hand against you. We plead for you to take your rightful place." Angron began to stalk around Khan. as the Hastatis hesitated. Then finally spoke again. I envy them. The ones that fought with you. This is all we ask. A chance to fight with you. Angron growled, though his tone showed less hostility. No nails, no rope. Hope you've got a good head for mockery, Khan of the so-called Legion. We'd have had sport with you in the camps. Angron's mind turned back to his people, and the rage returned. He lifted Khan by the throat. I don't know how they died, he wailed. I can't go back to Desia. I can't go back to the soil to make a black twist. I can't commemorate them. Why did your emperor do this to me, Khan? He slammed Khan against the steel deck. More blood leaked from the warrior who still chose.
Why did your emperor do this to me?
Angron slumped down next to the wall. He bore his hands into his temples, drawing blood, the nails sending shivers of pain down his body. The great worms. Khan managed to choke out. Angron didn't move. He listened, as Khan through great effort spoke of a Legion campaign. Great worms of vile intelligence and malice that the warhounds had battled. Khan spoke of the desperate battle in the mud.
But he thought stopping a battle was a waste of time? He'd have let the High Riders die anyway? Oh yeah.
The land and turned the terrain to
like who gives a fuck about the High Riders? And there's quite a lot of them, I believe.
No High Rider languishing.
Makes it sound like it's like a class of citizen on that planet.
Whose prowess struck Khan with awe. Khan's face cracked with hope as he saw Angron picturing the scene, running through it as if the tactical display map was before him. Perturabo.
Angron is 100% voiced by the Remembrancer. Oh shit.
His hand still at his temple.
I was kind of wondering who that was.
Like him, Khan explained. One of 18. Sons of the Emperor to lead his vast armies and legions, formed from their genetic material. Angron saw the pride beam from Khan's face, as once again he thought to his eaters of cities. Fast we moved. Fast, he whispered to Khan. Not hanging between walls, entrapment is death. Always forward. Always hunger for the enemy. Oh, my brothers and sisters, if only we had known how it would end. All that valor. The eaters of cities they called us. All the mountain fortresses burning. All the great coast stained in blood. Hosian.
City swallowers.
Ul came. We broke them at the river. Hung 1,000 High Riders from the vines.
Damn.
Angron's rage peaked again.
1,000 is pretty crazy.
He pummeled him with a closed fist. Fight me, warhound! He yelled in desperation.
You Persians supplied the mortar. Like literally.
When to his shock, this grave grub Khan still lived. And still he would not fight his Primarch. Angron,
I almost want to watch 300. Is it weird that like watching this has got me like in the mood to like watch like to rewatch Spartacus, maybe watch 300? Is it weird that like this is giving me like those vibes? Like I almost want to go back and watch those movies now just because of like the intro to like fucking his like Primarch story, you know what I mean? Damn. Fuck.
Still he would not fight his Primarch.
Might have to do that.
Angron froze. He knelt down beside Khan and whispered, "You are warriors, Khan. I know."
Always being a 300 move? Dude, I don't know. See, 300 is one of those movies where it's like, unironically, I think if you take out the slow motion in the movie 300, I think honestly the movie goes from like an hour and a half to straight up like 50 minutes long. Unironically. Now that being said, it is just a kick-ass movie. I'm not gonna lie, it is just one of those movies where it's like, it's so over the top, but it's over the top in like a badass way. And also there's there's what, 300 Rise of an Empire. There's the second one too. Honestly, the second one's kind of slept on. A lot of people talk about the first one. The second one's actually pretty good too. I'm not even gonna lie. Second one was let down. You didn't like the second one, Andrew? I actually didn't mind the second one. I thought it was decent. I thought there was some weird things about it, but overall, I thought it was a decent successor. A lot of stuff was the same. Like, it kept pretty true, I think.
Is Khan. I know warriors when I see them. This Emperor.
Didn't live up to 300?
He is the one.
Prefer the first? Yeah, I prefer the first. Don't get me wrong. I prefer the first. I just don't think the second one is as bad as people say it is.
Such.
Like, it's watchable. I watched it and I didn't hate it. You know what I mean? I think the first one's better. Don't get me wrong.
Angron whispered. He had seen. He had known this before. It was the bond of the Red
Which one are we watching? Right now we're watching
bonds
Angron by the Amberking, the new one that came out, newer one that came out a month ago.
If this Emperor could inspire such devotion, then this room
was released too far. Yeah.
Angron asked.
Yeah, the second 300 was released way too late.
Khan completely off guard.
It's like Avatar in that case.
And the leadership of the Warhounds stood stunned as their Primarch emerged. 8th Captain Khan supported at his side, and near the point of death, but still alive. Salute your Primarch. Warhounds. Khan choked. Salute him who led the Eaters of Cities. For we shall be the Eaters of Worlds. Cheers roared throughout the chamber as a crooked smile emerged on Angron's face. World Eaters. So you shall, brothers. You shall learn to cut the rope. We shall bleed and be brothers. Come with me, World Eaters. We must speak. They turned the rope. They brought the red sands into their ships the size of cities. They chained their weapons to their wrists. They gave the salute, and their tread marked hundreds of worlds when the Imperium of Man directed them. Yet still they could not keep up. Donned in bronze plate, reminiscent of his gladiatorial armor from the red sands of Nuceria, Angron Valkyr astrode the galaxy. The Eaters of Worlds, the 12th Legiones Astartes, warriors forging the growing Imperium of Man that had fought for nearly 2 centuries of war. And yet the 12th Legion's perseverance went unrewarded. They began to mold themselves into images of their father, and yet it was not enough. Countless worlds felt the wrath of a superhuman uncaged, a dual axe-wielding demigod who charged at the enemy with no matter to the tactical positions, a Primarch who left his warriors behind, a Primarch who saw only the ghosts of the family that could have lived.
Jesus.
These so-called brothers. The mighty Horus Lupercal, Sanguinius, Perturabo, Guilliman, Corax, Lorgar, and more. Their stories only enraged Angron. How each had either grown in comfort, had friends and families. How some still stood by their side, mortals elevated whilst his was left to die. Hundreds of human and Xenos worlds bore the wrath of a Red Angel. Sometimes those who even crewed his ships. Even warriors from his own legion. Angron was a ghost. One who had become death. The destroyer of worlds. All until after a decade, the Primarch of the 12th Legion and his ship the Descending Edge disappeared. 2 years. 2 years of searching. Khan and a squad of his brothers finished cutting their way through the jungle vegetation, halting before a cave that stunk of blood. Khan ventured in alone. He descended through tunnels of enveloping darkness, finding fluted columns of stalagmites rising from the floor like choirs of stone. A small mountain of bones filled the center of the cave. I knew they would send you, Khan. A voice rumbled from atop the great mound of bones. I knew no matter where I went, one day I would find you standing there, said Angron. Khan looked around the chamber, his eyes dancing over the piles of bones, seeing human and all manner of beasts represented. Why? Khan asked finally. no people here. Angron grunted, missing the truth of Khan's question. Not civilized ones, anyway. Just tribal bands. Simple creatures that bring me the bones of their kills and tell me of monsters. Angron, why are you here? Why have you left your legion? Khan said.
Because I hate it here. This place fucking sucks.
This isn't the first I went to. Angron continued. I've been to over a dozen during these past years. Walking across their surfaces. Trying to find something strong enough to kill me. To kill you. Khan narrowed his eyes. Yes, Khan, said Angron impatiently.
I can't do it my goddamn self. It's not honorable.
I'm not supposed to be here anymore. The statement stunned Khan to silence. My true family. They died with weapons filling their hands.
You know, I feel like if like the Imperium invested in something called therapy, or just like, you know, invested in a little bit of you know, invest in some therapist centers or something like that, or some people that could actually like speak about the feelings that some of these Primarchs and some of the Astartes too, I'm sure, are feeling as well. You know, I feel like there'd be a lot less bad shit going on in the Imperium if, you know, just the right methods of help were perhaps available, you know, but they obviously are not.
My true family.
This is 40k.
They
after
died
all.
with weapons filling their hands, and enemies' blood on their faces, howling out their last breath as they went into oblivion in honor, in glory. I was meant to die like that, Khan. With them. I can't go back and die at their side, like I was supposed to. He stole me away. He threw me out into this galaxy to fight his meaningless wars. Even then, nothing has changed. I never left the hot dust, Khan. Not really. It's here, there, everywhere. It follows me. Itching beneath my skin and coating my lungs in its poison. Your Emperor. That thing demands I call it father. He's just another High Rider. The same master that's always been there.
40k uses
Just
Spine
wearing a
Grinder and the
different
demonic sword of
I won't meet my end servant
Samarius.
as a tool of that golden
Samarius?
tyrant who ripped me
Samarius.
out from my destiny. I won't give him that satisfaction. So I left. I left it all. I went out here, hoping to find something that would end me in the way I want. The way they did. And what would they say to you? Said Khan. Your brothers and sisters. If they saw you now. They looked up to you. They needed you and they fought by your side to the death. Without you ever having to ask. What would they say seeing you abandon us? Those who look up to you
Anthrax, how you doing,
and
man?
need you and would die for you. To run away and sit alone and molding in this cave. If they were anything like you say they were, sire, they would call you a coward.
damn dude.
Angron almost killed Khan on the spot.
That's gotta
The
hurt.
nail sending a sting of pain washing through his body as he rose in fury. I never asked for any of this. I never asked to be thrown into the stars to be nothing more than a slave building another man's dream. It isn't just his dream, Khan pleaded. It is humanity's. The empire we are building, it will belong to all
Has
of
a
us.
Titan moment happened yet? Not yet, not yet.
Empire? Angron sneered at the word. What empire has been anything more than the ruins that are discovered by the one that rises after it? They never last, Khan. Ever. And neither will this one. Return, and show us the true way, Khan interjected. Teach your sons to be as strong as their father. We will do whatever you ask of us. I swear that oath to you now and always. Angron stood still for a moment. He looked upon Khan. He lifted his hands to caress the dread-like tendrils on his butcher's nails. His greatest curse. His greatest weapon. Of course.
I do kind of hate how the butcher's nails literally are just like mock dreads. Like, I get it. I do understand. But hot damn, dude. That is, you know, It's just one of those things where it's like, fuck, you know? I don't... you know, not that I dislike dreads. I think it looks good on the right person. I just feel like Angron could do a lot better with a bit of hair, you know what I mean? I feel like he'd be a lot more of a good-looking guy with a little bit of hair rather than fucking all that protruding metal coming from his skull, you know? That's all. That's all. And I'm assuming, like, with the butcher's nails, you're probably bound to being bald, right? If I had to assume. I assume, like, there probably ain't a lot going on there. You can probably put some cream maybe up there, but I don't think it's gonna do much, you know?
His curse.
Hater? What?
His greatest weapon.
No way.
Of course, these sons
I'm not a hater.
strong enough. They had no nails. Failure, said Angron, his snarl reverberating across the flagship's hold, where the entirety of the Legion had assembled. 31 hours Angron had given his Legion. 31 hours to conquer the world of Gehenna. And all knew the...
Didn't like them for years, but I grew to like how the nails look. Okay, okay.
1 in every 10 will be slaughtered by his brothers.
Maybe it's an acquired taste, perhaps. Maybe I just need to... Maybe it's like a fine wine.
Or Gehenna.
The more you see it, the more comfortable you get with it.
For nearly a decade. Only for the 12th Legion to return, to find his compliance in failure. His population's dark truth had been revealed. A hive mind of false humanity. Millions of humanoids that spoke with one conscience. Their bodies mass-produced vat-grown pseudo-humans.
What the fuck?
Whose blood was tinged with an amber hue. The 31 hours was given by the Lord of the Red Sands. And in formations of phalanxes, with chain axes and blades.
Bald equals evil?
World Eaters had marched towards...
Honestly, yeah, usually. In Warhammer, usually.
Only a tide of bodies that spoke in one eerie voice, that began to swarm, and then drown them. White and blue armor stood out like islands and rivers of bodies. The push towards the inner capital halted, until the alarm rang, and their 31 hours were up. When I give orders to unleash you, everything must die. Angron
Jesus.
snarled. Men, women, old, sick, and dogs, everything. Total extermination.
I killed them.
And nothing less.
Not just the men,
My eaters of worlds.
but the women.
Tens of thousands of them cannot
And the
conquer
children,
a single
too.
world. Truly pathetic.
Like what?
Angron
Holy shit,
turned,
Angron.
grasping his head as the nails began to sting with his rising fury. Oh, my brothers and sisters, what would you have said to that? You, who fought your way out of bondage with me, out of the caves to wreak our vengeance.
Bite your way out of bondage.
Tick, tick. The nails began to bite. Since Angron's return to the Legion, apothecaries had attempted to recreate
Those
the
sand
butcher's
people
nails.
had it coming.
greatest
Whoa.
emulation of
Holy
their
shit.
father.
I don't know if you
Search
can just
for
say
his
that, man.
The desire to suffer
Holy
as he
shit.
did, so that something
That's
would
crazy.
bond them together. All the attempts to implement
Sand
the Legion's
people.
copies ended in violent death.
What, the Jawas?
A raving madman with no sane thought except violence. Angron began to pace. Warriors with the nails breathing hot smoke in their skulls would not have failed me. They would have had the strength to endure, the will, without restraint or any thought given to honor or survival. Without the fear of death. That is the only destiny any of you will ever know.
Only good bald guy I could think of is Sigismund.
His
Yeah,
eaters of
that's
cities
true.
had survived the nails.
And he's got enough good
If
to
these
make up for all the
so-called
rest, I
warriors of the
suppose.
Emperor could not. How could his so-called sons be so weak? Decimation.
That's what they're called,
Angron
fine
fighting
Tuscans.
Draw lots on making doubles.
I was like, they're certainly not
With
called
one in
that,
10 is the price that
canonically.
must be paid. Like a wave, the command reverberated through the World Eaters. Warriors for over a century who had jealously awaited the one they would call father, whilst others conquered with their primarchs. And yet when that day had come, and the decades of molding themselves to his design, they were still not enough. No, said a singular voice. All turned in stunned silence towards the Terran veteran Captain Mago.
Hey, Dache, how you doing, man?
Tick, tick. The nails bit even harder.
Technically, Trazen
Angron
is bald
rounded
as
on
well.
Captain Mago.
I mean,
Looming
yeah,
over
but
him with
Trazen...
barely contained rage.
Trazen's not really good or bad. Trazen's in it for Trazen. he might do shit to benefit himself that could have a good or a bad outcome for other people. But he's ultimately in it for himself. I think Trazen, he's the most like neutral fucking character there is in this entire like in the entirety of 40K. I feel like because he's just in it for himself. You know what I mean? He just wants himself to succeed. I don't disagree with that.
Angron rounded on Captain Mago, looming over him with barely contained rage.
University didn't kill me yet, so I'd say good. That's good, man. That's good.
His voice dangerous.
Treason.
Captain Mago's face rose slowly, and with great effort met the eyes of the towering monster. Our blades are soaked in the blood of brothers, our own kin, for no reason other than to slake your wrath. Because you've failed, Angron growled. We did not fail, Mago roared, knowing his life was over no matter what came next. The flag of the Imperium has been raised over countless worlds by our hands, our blood. We fought as brothers, and thousands of us have fallen in honor of that duty. No more shall die in shame. Their blood on our hands. No more. No more. The silence was deafening, until Angron stood to his full height. He cast his head back, and his laughter boomed across the deck. It unnerved the World Eaters more than his rage. Finally, at least one of you has the spine to speak your thoughts. That is why I will let you pick. Father, Mago pleaded. Choose now, said Angron. His face snapped into
That's pretty crazy,
stare,
dude.
his eyes twitching. Or I will choose for you. This legion is your legion. Mago pushed.
A second Tuscan
His
was
warriors
hit.
carry your blood in their veins.
A second Tuscan has hit the
I will not
moisture
see their
farm.
lives squandered
Holy
any
shit, dude.
further.
What the
Enough
fuck?
have died already today. I am
That's crazy,
asking you,
man.
My Primarch, my father, do not do this. Careful, Captain, said Khan. His voice a cold warning ignored.
Tuscans are targeting the military administration building.
Choose, Angron said through clenched teeth. Khan could see Mago's jaw tighten, until finally he spoke. No, no more, father. Tick, tick, tick. Crack. Angron grabbed his skull and began to claw at it. One of the nail connections snapped taut, and in a burst of sparks, severed loose. Angron wasn't on the Conqueror anymore. He was a wild beast, as unbearable pain shot through him and contorted his body. Then he leapt, smashing into his legion. World Eaters scrambled, as several burst apart, breaking his form.
Jesus.
The Red Angel lashed out and began to kill, as his mind swam in molten rage. Move! Get clear! A voice shouted, as limbs were sent careening over the scrambling thousands.
And the fuck thing is like, it's not like they're gonna fight Angron. Like, A, they're not gonna win, but B, he's also just their Primarch, right? So it's like, you're stuck in a rock and a hard place. Like, these fucking poor World Eaters, dude, they genuinely can't do anything, dude. They just have to sit there and take that and submit to it, bro. Oh man, our Primarch is fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah, a voice shouted, as limbs were sent careening over the scrambling thousands.
Tuscans only make up 13% of the population, but commit 60% of the raids.
Torsos
What
ripped
the
from
hell?
legs with his bare hands.
What, the political
Blood leaked from
commentary?
Angron's nose.
Holy shit.
Then he fell to the floor. He felt the Psyker's sting push even more pain through the nails. As a projection of the Legion's Librarius, the Communion formed in his mind. We are the Communion, and you are our father, they said in one voice. You must cease this, Angron. Your rage is killing your sons. They are not my sons, Angron wailed, clutching his head. They are weaklings forced upon me. The only family I've ever had lies dead. Dead when I was stolen from them. The projection pushed even further into the core of his being. And like a physical blow, it spoke one last time. You must stop. Angron's world went dark. Nuceria, the mountains cold on his bare feet, the whipping shrieks haunting him. the taste of fear, the spill of wet blood on his face, the shocks and tranquilizers from the first humans he had ever seen, the red sands, the overwhelming emotions of others, his first kill that doesn't hurt him, Onomaus' hand on his shoulder, his family's pain on his shoulders as they sleep, the awakening to the nails grafted into his brain, the howls of pain, as Onomaus' blood still stains his hands, the rise of rebellion.
A single thought of Big E would have been loyal, and he would have been loyal.
By his side
well, dude, you heard Big E say it himself. There just was no time for that, allegedly.
The last supper.
No time.
His blood. A last gathering of family before a glorious death. A High Rider dead in his hands. Then a voice that makes his mind scream. A new slavery. And a glorious death. Denied. A bestial
Can't blame
roar
Big
that
E, he was in a
comes from
rush.
human
Yeah,
throat
I mean, I think you definitely can.
The
What the
red
fuck?
angel rises and walks towards its source. Angron stares at Khan, kneeling over a body little more than piles of flesh. An apothecarian table is behind him, along with the broken strand of the butcher's nails from Angron's own scalp. Khan looks up to his father. Speckles of blood spit escape from a mouth contorted in hate. Blood leaks from the butcher's nails now in his scalp. "Do you see now?" asked Angron, running a blunt fingertip across the silver cables of Khan's implants. Khan twitches. "Do you see?" With a soft crackle of bloody froth, Khan's jaw unclenched. Bits of broken teeth spilled from lips to scatter across the deck. Not all of them his own.
He only had to click his fingers to stop that battle? Bro,
wheezes.
Big E just didn't have time. You heard it himself, dude. Big E just simply... I'm sorry, Angron. We just don't have enough time to do that. I know I came all the way here to get you, and it would have taken me literally the same amount of time to transport your boys as, you, because, we're here anyway, and, But as you can see, I'm looking at the script here, Angron, and it's just not in here. It's just not in here, they're just not important enough. And also, think about it too. Imagine there were some members young enough in that group. They could have been his lieutenants, you know what I mean? He could have inducted them, got them transferred over to Astartes. He literally could have had his boys with him, you know what I mean? But no, just not enough time. Pure and simple, not enough goddamn time. Sad shit, man. Sad shit. I don't get it.
Them his own. Yes. Khan wheezes. Angron stands to his full height. He looked down at Khan and smiled. He saw. He knew the pain, the rage, the bites and the ticks that demand every ounce of restraint not to unleash. Almost gently, Angron lifted Khan to his feet. "Come with me, my son." "This is how it should have been, Khan," said Angron. "Now this legion's history can truly begin." Angron, Khan, and 80 of the 8th Assault Company, Butcher's nails implants still fresh, jumped from their Stormbird onto the sands of Gehenna. Like a wolf leading his pack, Angron and his world leaders smashed into the approaching horde of Gehennan civilians. In one voice they droned on for negotiation, as Primarch and Sons ploughed through them. They were a blender of flesh, and soaked the ground and themselves in amber blood. In tandem, a second group rushed towards the capital. Captain Mago and his conspiracists made their rush, to destroy the doom of their legion. The Cold War between the veteran warhounds had been thwarted, and the secret missions to destroy the Butcher's Nail prototypes had failed. Now the secrets for mass production of the nails were discovered to be held by the Gehennans, and if Angron were to find it first, the Legion would be changed forever. Gone was the phalanx of before, as Angron, Khan and their pack had punched through a tide of bodies sent their way. Thousands, hundreds of thousands were left in their wake, as no obstacle lived before them. Khan cackled beside Angron, for now he saw the truth, the power of the nails. "Let us finish this," Angron grunted, as they descended into the depths of the central citadel. Finally at the heart of the enemy's holding, they saw the truth. Banks of crystal pods lined the walls, in a cold-blued honeycomb that stretched 100 meters high.
What did you think you letters to Purdy and he'd be loyal? You probably, honestly. I feel like you could make up everything that Perturabo in like an hour,
True
dude.
minds behind the false
If he was really
population
trying.
on the surface. Angron spat in disgust, for there were no warriors amongst this weakness. 2 lines of warriors stood opposing each other, one in marble plate, the banners of the Legion's victories flapping in the wind, and Captain Mago at its front, with the old Legion Master Lork behind him in his dreadnought chassis, roused by the veteran at this time of crisis. Opposite Angron stood, Khan and his brethren flanking them, covered in black soot and stained in amber blood. "My Primarch," bellowed Mago, "in the name of the 12th Legion and the Emperor of Mankind, I demand that you submit yourself to our custody and travel with us to Terra to stand judgment for the crime with the butcher's nails."
Oh.
Angron laughed, a bitter, sneering laugh.
You think I'm going to stand trial?
Spat onto the ground.
Crime?
"You sow rebellion
crime?
and accuse me of crime. Savor the taste of the air, Centurion.
Whoa.
The last night of your life, before I rip you limb from limb."
Holy shit.
Mago looked to his once friend, his brother Khan. The divide had been cemented. Where one saw madness, the other ascension and opportunity. A chance for strength, for Primarch and Legion to be whole. The implanted nails began to bite, and Angron's side lunged at their brothers. World Eater killed World Eater in the ashes of a civilization. But discipline was no match for feral fury, as the implanted Marines hacked their brethren apart, ripping off their heads and tearing into flesh with their teeth. To the feet of the rebellious, Khan tossed the head.
Really just goes to show how fucking batshit crazy they are.
To an end. Angron stood before them, as Lork and the others bowed their head in loyalty. The implementation took 8 days, until all but the Librarius bore the butcher's nails. The Eaters of Worlds ascended once more to Gehenna, razing every city and leaving none alive. Angron stood beside his twitching horde of sons, and made his silent vow. "I will go to the stars, and spill blood and take skulls, and I will leave the Emperor exactly what he left for me.
Magnus turned
Nothing
because
but a
dumb, oh
graveyard.
man.
An endless field of bones,
No, don't be like that.
stabbing out from the salted earth."
You made a mistake, that's all. Just a simple mistake.
It is the 31st millennium. For 2 centuries, the Great Crusade has set out from Terra to the stars, bringing world upon world into compliance. Hundreds of thousands of worlds bend the knee to enlightenment, to reason and unity under one being, the most powerful psyker in the galaxy, the Emperor of Mankind. With reluctance, Angron stares upon the creature that he calls Father, as he and his legion stand in salute in the greatest triumph of the species. The flattened continent of Ullanor bears witness to millions of Imperial army.
Pre-fall world eaters are
Astartes
peak
and
design.
near a dozen
Yeah, they are
primaries.
really sick. It's a
Magnus
completely
the
different
Red,
aesthetic.
Fulgrim, Mortarion, Lorgar, Jagatai Khan,
Which, like, obviously, but,
Rogel
like, I fuck with it.
Sanguinius and Angron bear witness, as the Master of Mankind gives his decree, that today they celebrate the might of the Imperium, but that the Emperor's grand vision will be led by another, as he returns to Terra to complete an even more important goal. With a laurel wreath placed upon his brow, Horus Lupercal was declared the Emperor's War Master, a general who will lead his armies in the closing days of the Great Crusade. A War Master, Angron thought. Of course. A tyrant delegating the fighting to others, as they
Oh my
return to
God.
the wealth beyond imagining.
Angron, you gotta
Angron
give it a
had no
rest.
dislike of Horus, perhaps even respect, but to take orders from an equal, to be the hound on another's leash made the nails tick. "Did he send you?" Angron growled. The gladiator incarnate, a god of war, stared across the chasm to one who called himself brother. Leman Russ, the Wolf King, a ferocity tamed. The dust blew between the two legions that stared at each other. The tension thick and violence seeming inevitable. Disappointment. The proclamation had come. Displeasure from the Emperor of mankind over the implementation of the butcher's nails. "Did he send you?" The Eater of Worlds asked.
It's more like, who did he send
But
it
Russ
to?
said nothing. His silence had Angron smiling, though it was an ugly slice of a thing, showing no joy. "He didn't, did he? The Emperor and Horus sail the stars together without a care for any of this. You've come to punish me because you believe it is your place." The reputation was
Is
earned.
my place.
The Emperor's executioners. It should have been
But
them
honestly,
who were
though,
hounds.
let's be real. If you're gonna send somebody to go deal out the Emperor's justice, who better than the fucking hounds? Let's be real here. Like, really, they're just the kind of the poster boys of, if you fuck up, we're gonna come make you rue the goddamn day, right? Like, I feel like, Angron, Magnus, obviously. I feel like if there were more people who they could stick Russ on, they absolutely would. And they do, I feel like. And again, like, Russ is one of those Primarchs where it's like, we've seen some of his videos, but like, I still don't know a whole ton about him, because I guess he's like one of the Primarchs that are technically just like disappeared right now, right? Like, he could still come back. Do you guys think he's going to make an appearance anytime soon? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
The Emperor's executioners. It should have been them called hounds. Hounds were loyal to their master's leash. This is why they were the Eaters of Worlds, and the Warhounds no longer. Reports reach my ears, Angron. Russ finally spoke. The words of commanders and captains.
Big E doesn't want to explain everything about Chaos,
Soldiers forced to fight
because he
without
thought that if
orders.
no one knew about it, it
Losing
would
hundreds where mere
become weak.
dozens
But the warp
needed to
doesn't work
die.
like that. Yeah,
Your own
yeah.
allies speak of the butchery done to them at your son's
Everything he was
hands.
doing was, of course,
Report
theoretical.
after report, after report. Witness after witness. All of this comes to me. And I wonder, my brother, what am I to do? Russ made a show at turning his head side to side. Look at what you have done. Is this the deed you want listed beneath your name when statues rise to celebrate the Great Crusade? Angron's eye began to twitch. The implant surgery
Literally
must be
doesn't want
reversed.
that.
Your sons will submit to mine for a return to Terra. Once we reach the palace, everything will be done to remove these parasitic engines from your men's minds. Who was Russ to speak to him like this? An equal giving orders.
Like, he is
How
true.
many
Like, he's right,
civilizations
though.
had the wolves burned before Angron had even known of the Imperium? How many years had the Emperor turned a blind eye to his slaughter? Only for the tallies of compliances to become inconvenient. Russ began to speak again, quoting the philosophy of Lorgar, speaking of the battle for morality and noble deeds. Such pretty lies.
I don't know if I would quote the morality of
We fight for the same
Lorgar.
reasons men have always
Seems like a
fought.
bad idea.
For land, resources, for wealth and for bodies to feed into the grinders of industry. We fight to silence anyone that dares draw a breath and a whisper of a different opinion than ours.
Oh my god.
We fight because the Emperor wants every world in his hands. All he knows is slavery, painted in the inoffensive cloak of compliance. The very notion of freedom is a horror to him. Traitor, said Russ.
Holy
The
shit.
warmth in his voice turned to a cold warning. We offer compliance or we offer death. How am I a traitor, Wolfling? I fight as you fight.
Wolfling.
As loyal as you are. I do the tyrant's bidding.
These are
We
fighting
offer
words.
them freedom. It is slavery. Angron bit back. Russ spoke through clenched teeth. You are mutilating your sons and stealing their minds. And now you preach of the Emperor's tyranny. Are you lost so far in your delusions? I do these things and I enjoy them.
Yeah, we know.
Angron indicated around himself.
At this
All I
point, you
feel
enjoy them
are
all
the
too
butcher's
much.
Nails hammered into my brain. I serve because of this mutilation. Without it, well, perhaps I might be a more moral man, like you claim to be. A virtuous man, eh? Perhaps I might ascend the steps of our father's palace and take the slaving bastard's head.
Jesus.
In all the years after, none remembered who fired the first shot. 2 stories left the killing field, along with dozens of dead on both sides. Angron claimed victory, having bested Russ in personal combat, as his sons died around him. Yet no deathstroke came between Primarch, only a warning delivered, and a warning ignored. The true chastisement had come, as the fleets of the once lunar wolves, now sons of Horus, tore their way out of the warp before the 12th Legion. War Master Horus Lupercal had come on the official dispatch of the Emperor of Mankind, to bring Angron back into heel. The towering bronze giant hunched forward, his posture ready for a repeat of the dubbed Night of the Wolf, until Horus began to speak. The Emperor is a tyrant. He is a liar, Angron. He has lied about the warp and the powers that rule there. He plans to murder a portion of his own sons as he ascends to godhood. All we have fought for will be sacrificed on the altar of his ambition. Help me, brother. Let us unshackle ourselves from this tyrant. It was as if every word was crafted for Angron. It confirmed a dark truth that Angron felt in his black soul. The father who had tossed his infant sons across the galaxy, and him into the chains of the High Riders.
That wasn't on purpose.
He denied him his glorious
But of course the
death,
Emperor never mentioned that.
besides his family.
Like, I didn't
It
do
was
that,
him
by the
who
way.
abandoned that family, where other brothers had theirs saved and elevated. This chaos Horus spoke of rose no interest in Angron, for all warcraft was cowardly and unclean. But lines were being drawn up, and soon the Imperium would be plunged into internal strife. Angron pledged his legion to the War Master, and prepared for the galaxy to burn. Angron's face was murder itself.
If I recall correctly, Angron really fucks the dog during the heresy. Like, he basically goes on, like, vendetta missions against, like, fucking Eldar ships and just chases them around for, like, way too goddamn long, if I recall. I think Angron, he just, before the heresy, his flaws start to show a little bit, and then during the heresy, he just fucking fumbles hard, dude. He fumbles the battle plans hard. Like, he almost becomes a liability with the shit he does.
Galaxy to burn. Angron's face was murder itself, his thick features scarred and bloody. Dark iron glinted on his scalp where the nails began to sing. The Red Angel, alongside elements of the World Eater's 16th Company, and Sons of Horus' 10th Company prepared to crest the hill of the enemy's last citadel. Through heavy-lidded eyes, Angron caught a glance at Captain Loken and Tarik Torgadon of the Sons of Horus. He saw them shiver at the sight of him. All men did. He knew how the other legions, even the other Primarchs, saw him, but he did not care. All that was left to him was slaughter. His honor had been ripped from him decades ago. He was simply a ghost of New Syria. Initial encounters with the Oretian technocracy had been favorable with Horus. Compliance could have been welcomed as lost colonies of mankind unifying, but their fate was sealed before the first footfall. The World Eaters were following suit, using the guise of war to begin purging their ranks. The Remembrances.
When the four gods manage to unite, it's usually Khorne who messes things up with his impatience.
The reluctant Oretians were,
that makes sense.
Words, illuminated,
hot-tempered, impatient, always rushing into shit.
The last citadel
blood
fell.
for the blood god.
They sought to take a Primarch with them, detonating the fortress and burying Angron under a mountain of rubble. Yet through stone and World Eater bodies, Angron clawed his way free. Caked in blood, he roared in hate. The nails biting so deep, he killed all in his vicinity.
Jesus.
To the world of his
friend or foe.
The World Eaters, Sons of Horus, Emperor's children and Death Guard assembled their fleets. The world had risen in rebellion, slaughtering their imperial governors and decrying death to the Emperor. In formations unfamiliar to them, Tens of thousands of World Eaters drop-podded down into the capital, the Coral City, fighting an army wielding silver halberds, firing piercing bolts, decked in lucrative stained glass armor. The forces of the four legions slammed against the last bastion of the traitor, Varda's Prahl. It was as if the whole world had gone mad, as towards the World Eater lines, the entire civilian population charged, utterly fearless.
Jesus.
Captain Ernan ordered his warriors to holster their bolters and draw chainswords and axes. From the command deck of the Conqueror, Angron sat hunched in his command throne. The precipice had come, as from the holds of the Hastati's fleet, the payload that would break the galaxy descended. Virus bombs.
Payload that would break the galaxy.
In the arsenal detonated upon
Chemical
the
warfare.
Of Isfahan 3. From the ocean to the vast continents, to the cities dotted across its surface, all life was devoured.
Man, imagine bombing a
The civilian
fucking
and
aid
military
station, you know?
population.
Imagine tox
The
bombing,
Astartes
virus
caught in its
bombing
wave,
an aid
let out
station.
horrifying screams.
Crazy
And then
shit.
it bloomed in fire, as Isfahan 3 was as silent as the dead. Movement alerts sounded across the deck. Survivors, emerging from deep bunkers. A lone figure in the purple of the Emperor's children, surrounded by the white of the World Eaters. Other signals came alive. Sons of Horus, Death Guard. The Vox bloomed with calls to bombard the surface. But Angron had already left, and the rage-filled calls from Horus were left unanswered.
He just shot the logistics driver and escaped in the fucking, like, getaway car, dude. Like, straight up. What the fuck?
Already left, and the rage-filled calls from Horus were left unanswered. To the surface of Isfahan 3, Angron rocketed down as his World Eaters followed behind. Raking fire punched through the rubble as
Oh no, he's going
World
down
Eaters
there.
darted into
Okay.
cover. The dark truth finally dawning upon them. Angron had remembered their names, their faces. He found those within his legion too weak to follow the new path. And now he would kill them all with his bare hands.
Holy shit.
With a roar like a feral animal, Angron leapt from the gunship and landed with a terrible crash. He was a monster of legend, huge and terrible, and the Primarch's hideous face was twisted in hatred. His huge chain axes battered and stained with decades of bloodshed. As the mighty Primarch landed, World Eaters dropped from their own gunships. Thousands of World Eaters whose war cries echoed Angron's own bestial howl as they charged their former brethren. Bodies were sent tumbling, as those loyal to the Emperor countercharged. Bolts of fire and chain axes smashed into the cacophony of hatred. One born of betrayal, the other disgust.
Fuck.
Brother killed brother. Father killed sons in a chorus of singing nails. Over months, through guerrilla warfare, the Loyalists began to move the traitors. Yet each conflict whittled their
Months
numbers
is
until only
crazy.
A few thousand remained. Ambush after ambush Angron walked into, careless.
Like, you could theoretically leave these troops here. Like, what are they gonna do? They're on a fucking planet that got tox bomb, virus bomb, dude. Unless somebody comes and picks them up and extracts them, they're fucking stuck there. There's nothing they're doing to get out of there. So it's like, Angron, you don't need to drop the ball and hunt these guys down for months. It just doesn't need to happen that way, guy. Excuse me.
Ambush after ambush Angron walked into, careless to his and his men's lives. The Coral City became choked with blood, as after another victory, Angron strode over to a wounded loyalist. Calgar's bolter was smashed aside by Angron, yet the Primarch did not deliver the final blow. Angron smiled at the man's beautiful defiance. Lord, the dying Centurion speaks. Angron crouched by his son, ignoring the nosebleed trickling down his lips, as the butcher's nails tick, tick, tick in the back of his brain. I am here, Karugar, Angron almost whispers. Karugar
Imagine
coughs up
Perturabo's
blood.
face when he tries to somehow
knows
coordinate the
the
shit
final
show that
words.
was his allies during the Legion,
looks to the father.
during the heresy. Yeah, dude, fucking the amount of babysitting, and that is literally what it is. The amount of fucking babysitting that had to be done for the heretic side, for the traitor side during the during the oh my god. Oh my god, it's coming to me. I'm sorry guys. I've been awake for like 20 hours at this point. During the Horus Heresy, holy shit, I'm having a stroke here. During the Horus Heresy, yeah, the amount of babysitting that had to be done, absolutely fucking asinine, dude, because it's just a case of like, again, Angron fucking off, you know, each Primarch at this point divulging into their own like personal sin, you know what I mean? Like Fulgrim is fucking losing himself, you know, in excess. Everyone's losing themselves, doing their own like side quests, their own side objectives. And meanwhile, like Horus is just like, guys, you need to stick with the fucking script and like do what I tell you. Do you want to win or not? And it's just like the way a lot of these Primarchs acted during that time period didn't really seem like they wanted to win. That's all I'm saying.
He knows he will draw his final breath soon. He looks to the father that has betrayed him with his last functioning eye. That wound at your throat. Calgar coughed out. That was me. Angron touched his own neck. His fingers came away wet, and he smiled for the first time in years. You fought well, said Angron.
Yeah, if Purdy stayed loyalist, yeah, the heretics, or the heretics, the traitors would have literally
Centurion
no fucking
blood-darkened
chance whatsoever. They'd be done.
Tell me,
Purdy
why,
fucking
father?
carried it hard.
Why stand with the arch-traitor? I do not stand with Horus. Angron breathes the confession. I stand against the Emperor. Do you understand, Karuga?
No.
I am free now. Free. Can you not understand that? Why have you all spent these last decades telling me I should feel honored to live as a slave?
Jesus.
I was so close to dying free. Karuga let out his final breath.
I mean, you are living large comparatively to everyone else, to be fair.
His title, Lord of the Red Sands, as the last of the Loyalists are surrounded and annihilated. Angron was free of the Emperor, but true freedom would only come when he struck that tyrant's head from his shoulders. The Great Crusade is over. With the decimation upon Isfahan III, the War Master Horus Lupercal declared open rebellion. In alliance with this chaos, warp storms ravage the galaxy. Entire sectors and worlds
Free falling, yeah.
Planets pick a side.
Oh, who is that? Is
choosing either
that
to
Tom
acquiesce
Petty?
to the War Master,
Tom Petty,
while
yeah.
others remain loyal to the
Tom
Emperor
Petty and the
in their own
Heartbreakers.
peril.
Fucking good band, dude.
To the world
Good
of
band.
Isfahan V, the World Eaters, Sons of Horus, Death Guard and Emperor's Children, as well as elements of Traitorous Guard and Mechanicum, assembling the bastion upon the Urgal Depression. From Terra the Emperor has sent his vengeance. The Iron Hands, Raven Guard and Salamanders as the vanguard. The Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Word Bearers and Alpha Legion in the rear. Vast armies clash upon the snowy fields, in catastrophic violence so great it would destroy the sanity of mortal minds. From the front lines, Angron and his sons countercharge Salamander Line, as one's allies spill each other's blood, in a war most never thought possible. The feral howls of Angron bellowed in challenge to his brother Vulcan. The prospect of challenging one worthy of his axe is an enticing thought. Bloodied, the first wave of loyalists began to retreat, all except Ferrus Manus in his desperate charge towards Fulgrim.
Damn.
Salamanders and Raven Guards signaled to the Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Word Bearers and Alpha Legion, only to be met with eerie silence. Ordnance and bolt of fire raked into the Loyalists, as 4 more legions turned upon the Emperor. Angron and the World Eaters charged, turning the next weeks into a massacre
F to
that shattered
Ferris,
3
aw.
legions, and 3 Primarchs missing
Aw.
or dead. From a great pyre, Angron watched Horus stand elevated before the traitor host. The War Master declared their great victory and raised up their new chant. Death to the false Emperor.
Horus put his emo
To their
clothing on,
side, Angron
his
could not
emo
help but
armor.
Notice the change already coming. This chaos. These gods which were openly worshipped within the ranks of the Word Bearers, Emperor's children and sons of Horus. And the Emperor's lie, that demons now walked amongst them. Ultramar, the realm of Primarch Rebuta Guilliman. 500 worlds, a prosperous upbringing, vast armies, and a family. A life of ease compared to the red sands of Nuceria. When over a century before, when the Emperor stole Angron from his glorious end, Nuceria bowed to compliance, the High Riders joining the prosperous realm of Ultramar as reward. And now it would all burn. The Conqueror tore from the warp, as the first lancing beam struck the world of Armatura. If Macragge was the administrative capital, Armatura was the arsenal of the Ultramarines. Vast docks had given birth to numerous fleets in the 13th Legion. Upon its surface, veterans of hundreds of campaigns schooled thousands of new recruits. Its continents gave way to vast armies of militia that guarded fortresses that would give the Iron Warriors pause. Yet Angron and his World Eaters, followed by Lorgar and his Word Bearers, appeared, with only a fraction of their legion's strength. The rest spread out across
Ghoul
Ultramar,
Angron there.
leaving dead worlds.
I just want to say that like illustration of Angron is fucking radical. Like, he looks like a fucking ghoul, dude. Like, look how crazy that looks, dude.
Strength. The rest spread out across Ultramar, leaving dead worlds in
That's
their wake.
undead fucking Angron.
The Ultramarines' legion had been decimated in the ambush upon Calth, the slaughter giving birth to the violent warp storms that sealed the realm from the Emperor's light. Two warriors stood side by side, one stained in marble plate, his butcher's nail implant stinging through his nervous system, the other in crimson, with cracked lines scarring the path where demon flesh bubbled up. 8th Captain Khan and Argol Tal, Lord of the Chapter of the Consecrated Iron, leader of the demon-possessed Vakra.
His conditions get worse and worse every day, so accurate. That's true, that's true.
Cemented in the fighting.
By the end of it, he
shared
probably
by
would
each
look
other's
pretty
legions
ghoulish, I
as
assume.
Torren. And that bond was now tested.
Oh god.
The World Eaters were twitching in their harnesses, as the Word Bearers in dark prayer fell silent. With feral footsteps, the Lord of the Red Sands entered. From the bridge, Angron had seen not one, but two enormous Word-Bearer vessels tear themselves out of the warp. Continent-sized cathedrals of metal and firepower, the true weapon to break this precious world of Guilliman. But he wanted to be upon Armatura's surface, before there was no more hot blood left to spill. Angron turned to regard the Word-Bearers in their orderly ranks, and a nasty smile split his lips. He sensed their ardency, their efforts at propriety, and it amused him. "You're smiling," Khan said, wearily. "It entertains me no end to see them masking their sickness inside their souls with such zeal," said Angron. "Lorgar has been planning
He's
this
proud
war
for the first
decades.
time ever. Holy
The
shit.
mere sight of those
Crazy.
ships is evident of that. Remember it, all of you. Remember it when you feel tempted to trust one of those serpents in red." Angron's pupils were pinprick specks in the depths of his sickly eyes. A stalactite of saliva trickled its way down his scarred chin. Khan merely inclined his head in acknowledgement of his lord's words. "Creature," Angron growled. "Creature, get over here." Angron had grown fond of toying with Argol Tal in such a way, seeing how the man with a demon in his chest wrestled to keep in check his hate. "I saw your lord's pretty
Too deep
warships
inside his
lighting up
brain
the
or something like
skies
that.
just now."
I feel like also it's just the case too of if you're in like physical fucking pain 24/7 and the only way you can escape that pain is by like feeling intense feelings of hate, rage, etc., right? I feel like by the age, like if you're 20 years old, I feel like you'd look like a fucking 50, 60-year-old, the amount of stress and like hatred and just like fucking like, you know, stress going on with your life. You know what I mean? I could see it killing you quicker in that sense because it is literally causing you pain physically. Like, you know what I mean? 100%. It would be very draining, like literally in that sense.
"I saw your lord's pretty warships lighting up the skies just now. The Triarii and the Blessed Lady." Argol Tal stiffened. It had been mere months since his mortal friend had been slain by the Emperor's custodies. A deep wound Angron felt like picking at. The Blessed Lady, Angron growled. That name. She was your whore priestess, was she not? She was our confessor. Angron felt Argyll Tal's hate radiating off of him, and his grin grew wide. Dead though, eh? Entombed upon Lorgar's flagship. Is it true that fanatics pulled her bone from the coffin? They stole them as holy relics, like the heathens of old? Angron, Khan pleaded. With a sword stolen from the Emperor's own custodians, Argyll Tal leapt at Angron, but the Primarch caught the word-bearer in one fist.
Damn.
His fingers wrapping around the warrior's torso. It was over in a heartbeat, as Argyll Tal was hurled back before the blade could even come close to landing. The word-bearer rose as his armor began to crack. Leathery wings unfurled from behind, as hybrid demon and human flesh burst from the seals.
Oh my god.
See you on the surface, Angron chuckled to himself, turning his back on the creature and climbing within a dread claw drop pod alone. He is no Primarch. Argyll Tal's voice rammed into Khan's mind, sending hot stabbing through it. A Primarch should be inspiring. Our genetics should react at the mere sight of them. Think of the moment you laid eyes on Horus, Dawn, or Magnus. I've seen Sanguinius and Russ with my own eyes as well, close enough to touch their armor. Think of when you stand before Lorgar, the awe and reverence that beats through your blood, the feeling of our genetic code reacting to the pinnacle of human process. I've never felt that instinctive respect for Angron, Khan. Not once. He is a broken thing. Devastating, unrivaled in war, but broken. Khan dared not voice aloud the dark truth. That yes, he and all World Eaters knew this to be true. Dreadclaw drop pods slammed into the marble cities of Armatura. Hordes of World Eaters and Wordbearers poured out as their slaughter began. Unlike his philosophically minded brother, the Lord of the Red Sands ploughed into the heat of the blood-soaked carnage. Reports of the Void War and tactical situation from Mistress of the Conqueror, the Tara's sin had to be brief, before the nails took hold. The Tara had sensed it, a dark truth that Khan and the others fought against openly acknowledging. Angron was getting worse. The fever rage of the nails came on sooner.
Colton's message got deleted somehow. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's like YouTube moderation.
Sometimes he had to be locked within
and
his
it's
own
really
chambers,
touch and go at times.
lest a rampage spill
really
out
sketch.
onto the mortal crew again. Like splayed fingers curling into a fist, the World Eaters and Wordbearers converged towards the Naval Academy's command tower. Disciplined lines of mortal army and ultramarines slunk back in ordered retreat, as Khan witnessed Angron charge in alone. The nails had
I think it was your fault, maybe? Like a misclick or
detonating
something?
booms
That can
erupted
happen
out
too.
from the base levels of the tower, and Khan witnessed in horror.
I know for the moderators,
Angron
there's
was
like
buried
a
under
show or like a
darkness.
like a hide button, and if you misclick, you're just fucked.
Whiplash
Oh,
and
man.
clarity cut through the mind-numbing rage that had consumed Angron.
Time to revoke the mod
He was
status.
buried, utterly alone. It was then that the instinct kicked in, and with hands and arms red raw from blood, he began to swing and claw, each gathering of dirt and
You know
stone
what?
slicing his flesh.
While we're here, because you know, we've had so many people like tuning in for this stream for so long now. Why don't we add a few new moderators too? You know, fear not that I don't trust, but Andrew, congratulations, you, my friend, are now a moderator. Look at that, Andrew is now a moderator. There we go, Andrew. And you know what? Dare I even say, Khold, I trust you as well, Khold. You're also getting mod status as well. You've been here a while. There you go. They've been tuning in. They've been tuning in a lot, you know. I appreciate that a lot. You guys are mods now. You guys have the power. Don't abuse it. With great power, great responsibility.
He was a Primarch. He could hold his breath for a long time, but for all his superhuman traits, panic began to set in.
Give an interrogator chaplain more power? Exactly,
the
exactly.
began to sear hot with heat, and the ticks whined into a solid buzz. He had to kill. He had to kill. His mind tumbled. He wasn't weak. He wasn't scared. He wasn't helpless.
Surrounded by mods, yeah, the power increases.
Gagging on a mouthful of rock. Kill
Come
me,
join
burn.
the right side of the Senate.
Angron. A firm voice thundered into his skull.
Hope
Who
I can
are
trust
you?
on your vote.
Angron hissed. We are the last 19 still alive. The voice spoke again. I am the Communion, the only one who can reach you. For the first time in centuries,
Never to be a Titus and not a
Angron
Cato?
felt a calm rush over him.
Oh, damn.
I am counteracting the machine in your
Cato is a
skull
ball sucker?
by altering the
Oh.
chemicals flowing through your brain.
Oh, man.
The voice continued. I cannot maintain it for long. Not with only 19 of us left. Your mind is too different from baseline humanity. It resists any interference. Free me, Angron demanded. You have to free yourself. You're digging downwards. The enemy mined the roads and collapsed the towers upon the vanguard of our army. You were over 30 meters beneath the ground when you woke. Now you're closer to 200. Angron felt the Communion point him in the direction toward the surface. The sting of the nails began to return, as Angron felt the Communion of 12th Legion Psychers falter. No doubt a handful already dead due to the effort. Swinging with demigod strength, Angron clawed his way up meter by meter of packed earth, his lungs burning as finally he punched through to
I'm in your
sunlight.
chapter, serve.
The
Aw.
Lord of the Red Sands.
You'll get there
took a
eventually.
sweet
You'll get there
breath
one day.
and roared.
As long as
His
you're not a
form
servitor,
blood
right?
caked
That's
and
all that
blue.
matters.
Angron peered down into the crater around him, witnessing the near melted and charred form of his brother Lorgar.
Oh,
The wordbearer lifted a scalded hand, not for aid, but in warning. Angron had no time to lift his mutilated brother, sprawled at his feet, because the sun went dark. Angron spread his arms, catching the gigantic tread of a warhound titan. Every muscle in his body locked tighter than the iron trying to crush him.
oh shit, it's the
Drool
Titan
streamed
scene.
through his metal teeth.
It's the Titan scene.
Skinned knuckles white
He-Man
as it
moment?
defied the
Yeah,
will
yeah.
of the titan. He gave a bestial roar.
Lorgar just chilling, yeah. Lorgar's just
Sinews
fucking
cracked
like
in his shoulders.
half missed on the
Broken
ground.
boots skidded back onto the patch of unglassed rock. Something cracked in his spine. Something else cracked in his left knee. The compression of
Jesus.
his bones sounded like twigs breaking underfoot. But he could hear his men cheering. He could hear them howling as they killed, and crying his name. He blinked to clear away the sweat-greasy sting, and dug his boots into the ground. And with a smile splitting across his broken angel face, he shifted his slipping, blood-slick grip on the Titan's clawed foot, and started pushing back. Lorgar! Angron spoke in something that wasn't quite a growl, and wasn't quite a laugh. Get up! I can't hold this forever! Lorgar rose a trembling hand, and added his psychic might. The two brothers pushed together, as a plasma cannon the size of a tower crackled with heat.
Look at that, the one thing they ever did
Angron
right
could
together.
See that Lorgar had somehow survived 2 shots, but they would both not survive a third. Spear lances punched through the side of the Imperial Warhound Titan. World Eater Wardog constructs had taken on much from their master, and they had become hunters. And like wolves, unless the machines lanced and dragged down the larger beast, lifting its tread from the Primarchs and slamming it into the rubble. Angron rose, bloody but still standing. The two Primarchs gripped wrists.
If I'm an Astartes, I'll rep the
pulled Lorgar
Lamenters, so
to his
no.
feet. Apothecaries from both legions were sprinting into the crater. Are you dying? Angron barked. You look like you are. From a face and body half melted, with only his functioning eye left, Lorgar met his brother's gaze, and smiled a twisted half grin. the bone of his skull peeking in places. I sought to save you, to unearth you from that burial, Lorgar wheezed out. Angron froze. He felt something that frightened him more than having been buried alive. The sensation of brotherhood. Is that a lie? Angron asked. You tried to dig me out? You know it's the truth, said Lorgar. Both word-bearers and world-eaters finally rushing to their Primarch's side, all staring in awe. You weren't needed, Angron said hastily, running away from the sensation he had once felt before and lost. Lorgar turned away. Be that as it may, I thank you, brother. Thank you for stopping the Titan. As the Urizen limped away, aided by his
Imagine them
sons,
having a nice brotherly
Angron
moment there.
called out,
Crazy.
Lorgar, try not to die before I return. Lorgar gave a mutilated smile and entered into his Thunderhawk. Angron turned away, seeking new weapons to continue his slaughter. Sire, said Khan, rising to his Primarch's side. Leave me, Khan. Prattle at me later, when the nails no longer sing. No, said Khan defiantly. Every world-eater around them froze. Angron stood still, and turned slowly to face down Khan. You have something to say, Captain? To his credit, Angron thought, Khan did not back down. Lord Aurelian tore rocks from the ground for almost half an hour to reach you, and slaughtered countless enemy warriors. Angron showed his shark's row of iron teeth. And you owe him thanks. His act was noble, despite his legion's eternal cowardice, and he endured great horror to save you. I have never seen a warrior withstand such punishment, nor pull gunshots from the sky by spite alone. This ingratitude is beneath you, sire.
Holy shit.
You are better than this. Around Khan, the world-eaters prepared for the violence they knew was coming.
Angron's about
Yet
to get
their
angry.
surprise, Angron simply stared at the 8th captain.
You're
A mirthless
right.
chuckle escaped Angron. I'll bear that in mind, Khan, he said, as he departed the stunned world-eaters. Armatura's foothold had been established, and even with Lorgar's mighty flotilla bombarding the Ultramarines' defenses, the battle was far from won. Lacerated by 100 wounds, Angron stood victorious over the dead, as the last of Armatura's defenses fell. According to Lorgar, it was not the conquering of the planets, but the slow death, the agony and suffering that changed this so-called Song of Chaos. One born from the decimation by Erebus and Corferon on Calth, and soon joined by Angron and Lorgar's Shadow Crusade. The World-Eaters slaughtered any left alive, coating the streets of this once jewel in blood. The Word-Bearers dragged away any Ultramarines they could find, resources for dark rituals for their dark gods. The bridge of the Conqueror was stained in blood, and Angron's trembling footsteps were matched with one equal in his size. Former Legion Master Lork in his Contemptor Dreadnought chassis had dispatched the last of the Ultramarine boarders. The World-Eaters
Angron's just a broken toy to play with? Oh god.
Down to the surface in glory.
It's not wrong though. Oh, that's a cool
Their
artwork.
punishment
Wow.
will soon come.
I just want to say real quickly, that's a really cool illustration right there. I really like that. I wonder who made that. I'm sure there's probably like an artist credit somewhere, but that's really cool work on that. I like that a lot.
Had run down to the surface in glory, and their
Chork.
punishment would soon come. Angron of the World-Eaters. Lork's grill barked. You look good, old warrior. Still in the outdated colors, eh? Angron growled. Do I owe you thanks for defending my ship? I did little. Your gratitude should go to the other first dreadnoughts, and the 2,071 souls that lost their lives in repelling the assault. Tick, tick, tick. The nails began to bite again. You're still a miserable bastard, Lork.
Oh.
I died. A little too late to change now.
Damn,
the former
dude.
Legion Master said. As from the viewports, the World Eaters and Wordbearers' bombardment finally cleansed the planet. Angron, Khan and Argyltal chuckled. Within Lorgar's personal chambers, the self-described Destiny's Hand had arrived. Erebus, High Chaplain of the Wordbearers, servant of chaos long before even Lorgar's corruption, stood in failure. Calth had burned. Hundreds of thousands of Ultramarines lay dead. Ammunition for the Ruin Storm had carved the Imperium in two. Yet even with
Erebus.
his perfect ambush, he and Corferon had failed to kill Guilliman, and failed to utterly destroy the 13th Legion.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see any
And
Erebus
once the
fuckery in
vengeance
this
of the
video.
survivors had come, they had turned tail.
It's very
Angron
possible. It's
enjoyed
very, very
Lorgar's
possible.
toying with the snake that was Erebus.
The
And yet
snake.
Erebus would fail again. His demonic
Look, see, even the Amber King agrees with us. Look, he just referred to Erebus as a snake as well. Snake of Erebus. Oh God. Ugh. What's worse, the snake Erebus or the bat Khan? What's worse?
was Erebus. And yet Erebus would fail again. His demonic ambush for the Blood Angels.
Or not the
and
snake,
Primarch Sanguine.
not the bat Khan. Oh shit. Fuck. What am I thinking of? Oh God. The Night Stalker. Fuck me, guys. My brain is not working right now. It is not working as intended. Holy shit. This is embarrassing. Wow. Oh my God. Kurz. Conrad Kurz. What am I fucking doing? Oh my God. Wow. My brain is not working. I need some sleep, guys. Holy shit. I just realized. Yeah. Wow.
Would fail.
Oh my God. Conrad. It's
Angron
Conrad.
could not hide
Conrad
his
Kurz. That's who I'm thinking of.
fascination
Oh.
with Lorgar's words.
Woo.
That even the perfect angel, Lord Sanguinius,
I need more
was
coffee or
rife
something,
with
boys. Holy
insecurity.
shit. It's
the thought
bad.
that even brothers who seemingly
bad.
had everything still fought an internal war was new to Angron. Angron laughed again at Erebus's utterly defeated and kowtowed expression.
Oh.
The timing of your arrival was fortuitous, priest. Angron grumbled. Just in time to miss the fighting. Tell me, are all your prayers and little
Night Stalker?
treacheries making you more
From
preacher
Fallout?
than warrior?
Yeah, dude.
Erebus departed.
They look the same, and they act the same
sound
too,
of
almost.
Angron's chuckles echoing.
And they're
throughout
both
the hall.
invisible, apparently.
Aboard Lorgar's flagship, Angron dwelt. The two legions' fleet once more translating into the warped tides. 27 worlds. 27 civilizations Angron and Lorgar had burned. But this time the Horizon had kept his
Only
brother in the
27?
dark as to their
Weak
next
numbers.
destination.
Rookie numbers.
What brings you here, brother? Lorgar asked, his eyes closed. The priest earned his title. For unlike Angron, who never shed his bronze plate, Aurelian sat in his command throne in simple robes of crimson. Curiosity, said Angron, surprising his brother. I followed you so far. We've killed the worlds you wished to
Do you love
kill.
how Conrad was originally
And
meant to be a
now
high
you
court
owe
judge
the
after the
answer.
Crusade? I fucking hate that a lot.
Lorgar smiled.
I really hate the idea that Conrad was going to be like the ultimate fucking like authority when it comes to law. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking cursed. You know what I mean? Could you imagine what that would look like? Holy shit. No, thank you. No, thank you.
And now you owe me an answer or two. Lorgar smiled and rose. With psychic power, he drew a star chart of Ultramar, tracing the building shadows that leapt from world to world, now ashes, all leading to a sight that made Angron's rage almost melt. No Syria, Angron whispered.
Him, the Angel, and
The mix
Korax
of
were the
disbelief,
three high court judges.
Pain and rage.
Yeah, I guess that's actually a
livid.
pretty varied mix,
I
actually.
have no wish to return there, Lorgar.
That is actually a pretty balanced,
no
like,
wish and no need.
court, I would say.
Lorgar completed the ring of worlds that was sealed.
Because Korax is like a very strong neutral, obviously. Sanguinius, he, obviously leaning more on the side of good, and then Kurz is like the ultimate like fucking hardliner, like, nah. Punishment, you know what I'm saying? but I feel like Korax would definitely be the best. 100%, like in that regard. If there only had to be one, I would put Korax as that.
No need.
No Syria? No Syria? Angron's too political?
From terror.
Oh god.
Why no Syria? Angron balked.
Holy shit.
You could choose any world near Ultramar's borders to form the end of this barricade. But you chose New Syria. It must be New Syria, Lorgar said silently. Angron didn't believe him. The brotherhood Angron felt and resisted growing manifested, as he felt the familiar sting of betrayal in his heart.
Curse Flayem Sanguinius, he stole a bun, like literally.
Why are you so reluctant to return? Lorgar
like I think a simple fine might be sufficient.
Me in your mind to a snarling inhuman thing, forever blinded by its own anger. Lorgar could sense the closest thing to fear Angron could feel. Because in the stars he was a butcher, a weapon. But on New Syria, he had been a man. In the stars he could escape the pain. But on that world, after everything they had done to him, Angron tried desperately to hide the very truth he knew Lorgar was searching for. That he was no mad beast. He was a man. A broken man in pain so deep. He hurt the universe that hurt him. But Lorgar had seen it. Angron's butcher's nails were different. Your sons, with their crude copies of your implants, have their minds rewritten to feel joy only in the adrenaline's kiss. Those lesser implants cause pain because they scrape the nerves raw. Thus your world eaters kill because it gladdens their reforged hearts. But you, for you there is no true joy. It is escape. In its deepest sting, they give you a serenity and peace you can find nowhere else. Why New Syria? Angron interjected.
That art you liked is by Marcus Papa. Oh god. Oh, okay, guys, here we go. That art you liked is by Marcus Papatheodoru. Papatheodoru? Is that, I'm definitely mispronouncing that. I apologize. He has a ton of art. Yeah, crazy last name. Yeah, I definitely mispronounced that. I apologize for that. But no, I have to check his name out for sure. Like, he does a really good job. I like that art style. It look unique, that's for sure.
Because you are dying, said Lorgar. Those nails are killing you. And at New Syria there is a chance I can save you. Angron was stunned.
Close enough.
Stunned that someone
that's good.
His life worth.
Hopefully it's not utterly offensive.
Even if he wanted it to end. You are weak, said Angron dismissively. He paced the room, unfooted. I am weak, said Lorgar. His voice calm, yet his golden eyes defiant.
Must be Greek, that's what I was thinking.
To never conquer his homeworld.
Greek or Mediterranean somewhere.
The night of the wolf, beaten bloody by Russ in the rain. I had him. I had Russ at my mercy, Angron growled. Then tell me the truth of that night, Lorgar retorted.
I had him, Lorgar. My boot on his throat at the very end. I stood above him at last. And Russ. Do you see?
He said. No, he barked it. He barked this not like a simple beast, but with human passion backed by canine fury. Conviction burning in his eyes. The same instinctive viciousness of a dog defending its family.
Look, damn you. Look around you. Do you see what you've done to your sons?
Hey, Steven, how you doing, man? Just getting off work? How was work, man? Hopefully it was good for you. Hopefully you had a great night there.
Speechless. The axe in his hand lowered, and he looked out at the ranks of wolves facing him with their bolters raised. They came in ragged packs, abandoning the warfare to form a ring around the Primarchs. Wolf after wolf, close enough for Angron to make out the individual totems and talismans, rattling against their storm grey armor, moving to stand in ragged ranks with their brothers. One of them, a tribal leader of some kind, stood out by elaborate blue pack markings over his faceplate.
It's over, Lord Angron.
Russ!
Angron turned to his brother and pointed with one bloody hand over the encircling wolf packs.
Missed the tight moment.
to
Yeah,
where the
yeah,
legion
that's
still
true.
fought across the rest of the
Yeah, we just
battlefield.
passed that actually.
Your legion is bleeding.
Russ didn't deny it, for it was true. Beyond the encircling Primarchs, the World Eaters were tearing through their cousin grade regiments, fighting without sign of formation, just as they fought without any regard for their Primarch. Even in those early days, they were used to Angron fighting alone, and their fresh implants stole any hope of cohesive battle planning. Their stunted brains wouldn't let them bring order to their chaos. The few World Eaters in possession of their senses, Lork's towering iron form was one. Angron noted through narrowed eyes, were throwing themselves at the wolves entrenched around the dueling Primarchs, but they lacked the numbers to break through Russ's defensive packs.
My men are dying, yet here we stand at the battle's heart, and only one legion is about to lose its Primarch. Do you see why I came? Do you see how you've broken your sons?
He threw an arm to take in a wide pass at the battlefield.
The wolves are soldiers taking an objective. They fight to win, while your World Eaters fight only to kill.
Victory comes to the last man standing.
Angron
Damn, dude.
smiled, showing a crescent of bloody teeth.
That is true in the gladiator pits, Angron. But our father desires soldiers and generals, not gladiators. Death is a necessity. It comes for our
Angron
foes,
doesn't really care
and
about
it
his
comes
sons?
to our
No,
own
not at all.
soldiers when we cannot spare them.
He hates them for the decision they
You spend
made.
your legion's lives like a lord spends coin.
How much
It
more to the
cannot
vid?
continue.
Angron had fought
Let's see here. We got under an hour left. We're at 153 and there's 248 left. So yeah, under an hour. We're getting there.
followed Russ's glance, but where the Wolf King gave the battle a mere glimmer of attention, Angron was paying full and amused attention.
War is only won when every enemy is dead. A pacified enemy.
More gladiator wisdom, Angron. Look at my men surrounding you. Have you honestly learned nothing from this?
Your men are losing, Lehman. Let's take this to the last
Plus
breath,
3 hours of
eh?
discussion.
Let
Yeah,
the
of
bloodshed
course,
play
of
out
course.
With a dance of cutting
Naturally.
blades. We'll see which legion still stands.
Neither will stand. But you die the moment my men open fire.
Death holds no sacred mystery to me, Russ. It holds no terror.
He laughed then, through the nails' pain, laughing hard enough that his eyes watered.
I may even welcome it.
Make sure the line
Are you
went on for like
empowered by
7
our
hours.
beloved Father, dog.
Oh,
Can you
wow.
really give me death? Or has your posturing already gone too far?
Holy shit.
And I say once more, your men are losing. You know why? Because yours have something to live for. They care. Mine fight for pleasure, knowing any life outside of war is denied to them. Their own lives are as meaningless to themselves as they are to me. And that is the gift given by the butcher's nails. Warriors, not soldiers. Warriors with no fear of death and no caution to guard against it. They don't protect. They kill. They cast aside all thoughts of their own lives in the hunger to end others. Remember that, Russ. Remember it well.
For several moments, Lorgar had watched his brother's flawed face to make sure this wasn't some elaborate jest.
You didn't answer Russ's question.
Oh,
Did you truly learn nothing from that fight?
Angron laughed, the dull edge of surprise coming into his eyes.
What revelation should I have come to?
No.
Lorgar was almost breathless in disbelief.
No, no, no.
Tangents upon
Angron,
tangents?
you
Oh,
stubborn
man.
fool.
Come on now.
None of that matters.
There were more dead wolves on that field than dead world eaters. That matters.
His men, Angron. His legion could have killed you, whether the Emperor ordered it or not.
Filled with
Russ
this
spared
genetic
your
material?
life.
Oh my god.
He didn't retreat in shame. You
I feel like
arrogant-
Angron would die sooner or later to a stronger opponent. Yeah.
Was probably lamenting your thick
Yeah, it's just he
skull
wouldn't be allowed
all
to
the way
die,
back
that's
to
the thing.
Terra, hoping you'd heed a rather consummate lesson in brotherhood and loyalty. Look what happened. Yes, you beat him in a duel. Yes, your men took down more of his than his of yours. And yet who won the battle?
The world eaters.
Angron said without hesitation. Lorgar just stared at him for several seconds.
I appreciate that every living being must, by the very nature of perception, understand and process life in a different way. But even for you, brother, this is achingly obtuse.
You're saying the wolves won?
Angron looked more amused than confused.
How can you not see it?
Lorgar steepled his fingers, trying to rein in his own temper.
They won a victory worthy of engraving on their armor for all time. While you were glorying in your strength, Russ's sons were loyal enough to come to him, to surround you both, to threaten your life while you stood at the vanguard of your own legion. That may be the most comprehensive moment of outmaneuvering in the history of the Legiones Astartes. It's almost poetic in its elegance and emotional resonance. He proves his son's loyalty while yours leave you to die. He proves the damage the nails are doing to your legion. He proves the tactical strength of taking an objective rather than fighting purely to kill. He spares your life in the hope you will see all of this, and a lesson it cost him heavily to teach you.
Damn.
And your reaction is to grin and claim yourself the victor.
Angron didn't chuckle that.
He's fucking schooling Angron here, dude. Lorgar just came out here and just dropped a backhand on Angron's face, dude. Like, straight up, like, you're a fucking idiot. You lost this. How can you not see that you absolutely fucking lost this? Like, dude, what? You gotta play the objective, Angron, you idiot. Like, what?
And claim yourself the victor.
He's explaining this to a brick wall, unfortunately.
Lorgar could see it in his brother's tense muscles. Some cognitive switch had clicked somewhere in his consciousness, and Angron's rage was rising again.
Only one of us ran away that night. He's weak.
God's blood.
Lorgar was still managing, barely.
Just because you retreat doesn't mean you're weak, idiot.
Primarchs are the bridge between the Emperor and the species he leads. We are all weak, for we are all equal. All of us. We are humanity magnified, its virtues and its flaws.
I am not weak. I have never been weak.
Oh my god,
You are not
Angron.
only weak if you fail to understand Russ's lesson. You are also a fool.
Literally. You're not only weak, but you're
Someone
stupid as
in
well.
this universe wanted him to live,
Holy shit.
not to be a tool. A
That
father,
goes pretty hard, actually.
A butcher for imperial conquest. Someone in this universe wanted him to live because they loved him. The realization was almost unbearable. As to the truth of his sons, if Lorgar was correct, the 12th Legion's nails were of a worse variety.
Lorgar's
than
genius, no
he
matter what you
enjoyed.
say about him. Yeah.
His sons had escaped
Like,
that
Lorgar
by
really
rewriting
is clever.
themselves to be devoid
He
of
does
any
know a lot of
positive
shit.
human trait. But he, Angron,
And he's got
was
unique
not
viewpoints, too.
incapable. And the hammering thought that the wolves and Russ had indeed won was a sobering thought. A victory worthy of engraving on their armor for all time, Lorgar had called it. A demonstration that Angron was weak, because he did not fight with his sons. In truth, he had hated them. They had been his chains to the Emperor that forced him to cling to life. But what about now? Now they had chosen rebellion, and followed him into it. Perhaps the roles had reversed, and he was their master holding chains they willingly clamped around their own necks. The bond between father and son.
All Biggie needs to do is explain the difference between faith and loyalty. Yeah.
They had even given their
punished him very severely too.
Hammering nails into their own skulls.
For something that would eventually just become baseline fucking doctrine, you know? Hindsight's a bitch, I guess.
Angron was seeing the Legion's museum aboard the Conqueror, reading and pausing for long conversations with the archivists, when his skull aches allowed him the patience to do so. Khan and the Legion, they could not hide their shock, as the Red Angel chose to sit with them. Angron drank with them. He watched their gladiatorial duels. He even laughed as they laughed, and shared in brotherhood in a way few Primarchs enjoyed with their men. For 1 month, despite the ticking of the nails in his head, the 12th Legion had the Primarch they so desperately craved.
Crazy.
They had a father who, for the first time in over a century, chose to live.
Only for a month, though.
Tears rolled down the face of a man who had buried his humanity behind an ocean of blood. Angron stood within the very Nosirian mountains he had first seen as a terrified child. Upon the ground he stared at bleached bones of those he had called family. All dead, he said softly. My brothers, my sisters. Lorgar made to stand next to his brother, their respective legions behind, not daring to interrupt the moment. I should have died here. I did die here. The Primarch of the world is nothing but a shade, an echo. This is where I belong. The greatest battle of my life, and it was stolen from me. He took me. He dragged me into the sky. The Emperor, the god-darned Emperor.
Oh yeah, like,
was overwhelming.
I agree. Angron's, like, upbringing. Excuse me. Angron's upbringing is absolutely fucking traumatic. Like, it's really no surprise why he ended up the way he ended up with, like, the opinions that he had. Because, again, his only, like, interactions with humanity or with Xenos early on was bad. And for the first, like, 10 years of his life, he was a fucking slave in chains, fighting in blood sport arenas. You know what I mean? Like, and then given the fact that he's whisked away the only people he cares about, that he thinks care about him, you know what I mean? Like, Big E just really fucked up, man. Straight fucked up.
The god-darned Emperor. The grief was overwhelming. A magnifying of the pain he had felt every day for over 100 years. Lorgar met his brother's gaze, his golden eyes fierce. But why? Why did he let your army die? Why did he steal you in teleportation flare, when he could have remained here for a time, as he did on so many other worlds? He had a legion, your legion, in orbit, Angron. The grief turned to rage.
Biggie only needed his ghost and nothing more.
I'll never know why. He never answered me, but he'll pay as the High Riders paid. And when I stand before him,
how would you feel if you suddenly found out you have 100,000 kids?
Our father
it messed me up big time. Well, you never know. I might have 100,000 kids already. No, I don't know. Yeah, that would definitely be quite the shock. I'll be honest. Like, again, it's just the case of, like, it's not even the case of, like, I have 100,000 kids. It's more the case of, like, I have a responsibility, allegedly, to this fucking star empire that I've never, like, known anything about. You know what I mean? Like, I have no inclination to it. I don't care about it. It's not my problem. I don't see it as my issue. I was ready to die. Yeah, you know what I mean? Send my bad. The art is Wolf Dog. Wolf Dog. Okay. I got you. Not what I said before. Okay. Wolf Dog. I'll try to remember that. Timu Jin confirmed. Oh my god. How long have you been doing Warhammer stuff? Technically last January. Last January is when we started doing Warhammer stuff. That's when I first started actually getting into it. I started posting reaction videos, me learning about it on the channel. So yeah, about, well, little under a year now, I suppose. Yeah.
I will ask again, and then Lorgar, our father, will answer. Angron lifted his head, looking at the city of those who had murdered his family and stolen his life. Lorgar followed his gaze as it fell upon Deshir. Within the capital of Deshir, the household captain of House Thalkir was sobbing as a giant loomed over her.
Oh my god.
Thalkir died 100 years ago, she whimpered. He fled the Battle of Delshika Ridge. The court was frozen in petrified fear. Khan, Argyltal and Lorgar stood behind Angron, the legions occupying the city as the Red Angel began to twitch. Tick, tick, tick. You lie, woman. You will tell the truth now. Angron barked. The rage
clearly bothers
in his
him.
chest was so hot he was almost in disbelief. The woman froze, unable to speak anymore. Angron killed her for it. Angron was drooling, blood leaking from his nose as he turned to another guard. You! Angron bellowed. 100 years ago.
I have to go back and watch it now. Love most things Warhammer.
An old story.
Yeah, we have a lot of Warhammer content on the channel. I know, like, the first, like, 2-3 months I was uploading, basically all of it was, like, essentially Warhammer content. You know, we got a lot of Warhammer content on the channel, and I still do upload quite a bit of Warhammer content. Not as much as I used to anymore, of course, but I still do upload it on occasion, for sure, like, here and there. And then, obviously, with the weekly live streams, too. You know, the weekly live streams, usually we do, like, these streams are usually like 3-4 hours, 5 hours, depending, of Warhammer content. So we do quite a bit. We do quite a bit still, to be fair. Sen was into the Titans and Knights. Yes, Titans and Knights, man. The Knights are fucking sick. But again, man, all the Titan models and shit too. That shit's just fucking whoo. You know what I mean? And I do got to put together, again, me and Tent were trying to organized to put those together, Andrew. We were trying to get those together at some point because, you know, we got to do that at some point. It's just, again, it's hard to see each other because we live like, well, about 6.5 hours apart. Well, 5-6 hours apart, roughly. He lives pretty far up north, so just organizing, and now he works a lot with the winter time. You know, he's now pretty sure he's largely plowing snow nowadays, right, as a job. So, you know, it's pretty on call. It's not really something you can just like drop and plan, like do stuff around, make plans around, unfortunately. So we are trying to get that done. I do want to do that because, man, I got a lot of models and I want to get them built, you know. Got so many models I need to build.
Years ago, the man whined. A legend, an old story. Angron Thalkir and the rebel army, massacred in the mountains. You, the army died to a man. Angron Thalkir left them to die.
Much as I love the ME playthrough, your 40k reactions are what I first found from you. Yeah, a lot of people came here from the 40k reactions.
That was never my name.
And the Fat Electrician reactions
I
as well.
refuse a slave's name. Angron was vibrating with bubbling rage.
Yeah, Steven came from the Fat Electrician reactions. Yeah.
Argyltal.
Yeah, we got a lot of people coming from those as well.
That frightened even the Hastatis. I want every World Eater and Word Bearer to heed a simple order. Anything, sire. Khan said. Speak, and it will be done, said Argyltal. Angron closed his eyes. Kill everyone in this city. Then kill everyone on this world.
Damn, there it is.
Screams and violence erupted around the entire world.
Holy shit.
As every man, woman, every high rider and lowly slave, every animal and sign of life began to die. A civilization died in blood-curdling screams. From mad berserkers and savage hymns venerating dark gods. From sunrise to sunset, Angron killed and killed. The skulls of his eaters of cities pinned to his waist, so that they might witness the long vengeance, until the skies became alive with fire. The World Eaters and Wordbearers fleet had made a desperate pivot towards an approaching force that vastly outnumbered them. Drop pods rocketed down from the sky as the vengeance of Kalth had arrived. Guilliman, his Ultramarines and Titan legions. In the ruins of Deschia, the livery of Ultramar began to pour out and take foothold. The World Eaters and Wordbearers were waiting for them. Yet instead of the serene, disciplined lines they expected, they found warriors with marked armor and burning hate in their swings.
Holy shit.
Wordbearer units marched, droning black hymns and chanting sermons from the Book of Lorgar, bearing corpse-strewn icons on befouled metal, and bleached bones above their regiments. As the World Eaters scrambled in blood-slicked marble armor, their hordes of chain-axed bolters careening into shield walls of Bolter and Gladius.
Pissed Guilliman arrived? Yeah.
His blood trailing from 100 wounds as he plowed through the Ultramarines.
Literally.
The skulls in his waist rattled at the enormous tread that brought him to the side.
We knew we were going to see him at some point. Come on, guys. Come on.
Rabute, Guilliman, and Lorgar looked up to the charging Red Angel, forcing Guilliman to back away from Lorgar. Both of their armor was cracked as they fixed their gaze upon Angron. Guilliman was different. Gone was the noble patrician of before, for now there was hate in his eyes. You too, Guilliman growled. My brothers.
Military master but doesn't understand camo.
Traitors.
Don't need
heretics.
camo. Meant to be flashy.
No better than the treasonous cultures we've squashed for the last 200 years. Did you learn nothing, either of you? I heard Lorgar speaking heresies already. What brought you so low, brother? Did the machine in your skull finally refashion your loyalty into madness? They let me dream. They give me peace. Angron growled. What would you know of struggle, perfect son? When have you fought against the mutilation of your mind? When have you done anything more than tally compliances and polish your armor?
Damn.
Childish. Guilliman sighed, gesturing to the burning, dying city. Does it really come down to this? So pitifully childish. Which one of us landed on a paradise of civilization, to be raised by a foster father, Rabute? Which one of us was given armies to lead after training in the halls of Macragian High Riders? Which one of us inherited a strong, cultured kingdom? You're still a slave, Angron, enslaved to your past, blind to the future, too hateful to learn, too spiteful to prosper. With dual Mechanicum forged chainswords, Angron lunged at Guilliman. The brothers trading blows too fast for the human eye to track. Goring strikes flecked pieces of bronze and blue armor equally, until Guilliman slammed his fist into Angron's chest. The bandolier of Angron's family skulls fell to the ground. Guilliman looked him in the eye, and then crushed them underfoot.
Damn.
Angron roared.
That's fucked.
The concoction.
Okay, that's actually pretty... I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty fucking cold behavior from Guilliman. He fucking crushed the skulls of his, like... of his original, like, Eater of Cities. Damn, dude. That's actually kind of based. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think Guilliman had it in him to be, like, you know, that's like Mass Effect when, like, you pick a Renegade option, and it's, like, unexpectedly badass. That's what Guilliman just did right there. That's kind of based. I'm not gonna lie.
Underfoot. Angron
Guilliman just picked the Renegade option.
The concoction of rage and grief greater than anything he had
Right
felt
click for
before.
right click for Renegade, you know what I'm
Nails
saying?
snapped taut, almost killing him as he lunged again at Guilliman. The Master of Ultramar was no match for this renewed fury. It took every ounce of skill to ward off the killing strikes, leaving them both inert to a dark chanting Lorgar had begun to shout. The skies above New Syria tore open. Storm clouds formed from the ghosts of 100 murdered worlds began to rain blood on the dead city below. The song, the desolation of Ultramar wrought in kind a storm of violent power, an offering Lorgar directed towards the Avatar of Rage. a tortured soul of pain and torment. Angron staggered back. He tried to claw at his own flesh, howling as the energies of chaos began to warp his form. Bones jutted out. Sinew and crimson skin ran liquid, as Angron howled in a pain greater than any the nails had inflicted before. Crimson fire mixed with the blood of the slain enveloped Angron, swarming until it burst out in a psychic explosion that killed nearly all of his librarian sons.
Damn, dude.
Syria had burned. Legionaries had killed each other in their thousands from dusk till dawn, but all froze, bearing witness to the molten avatar of human nightmare.
And thus he creates a greater demon.
A cloven beast, with crimson skin and leathery wings, howled.
Fuck.
Angron of the Red Sands was gone, and in his place was a brother's salvation, a form that could never die. Angron, demon primarch of chaos, chosen of the blood god, Khorne. Through crimson eyes, Angron spotted Legion Master Lork, the last warhound in his contempted dreadnought chassis, Lorgar at his feet, wounded by a son's rage. The snarling demon leapt forward, tearing the last warhound apart. Blood, said Lorgar, rising, for the blood god. Khan massaged his temples, trying his best to maintain coherent speech, until next the nails took over. Nysiria was long ashes. The armada of Guilliman had limped off in defeat, yet there was no victory. He had saved him, Lorgar proclaimed. Saved his brother from certain death, and granted him immortality through the primordial truth of chaos. But they had lost him, their father. How cruel was the universe to give them the bond they had mutilated their bodies for, only to lose their father and have a true monster instead. The Angron that burdened himself with the dreams and pain of others. The man who had wanted to die by a family's side. The man who proclaimed to kill tyrants. Now it was no man. It was something else that stalked the inner decks. The stink of chaos over months began to infect the sailing World Eater's fleet. Where once water, now blood flowed through its pipes. Corridors became infested with warp taint, infesting the minds of the serfs first, and then the Legion. A mewling creature cowered in the dark, barely sentient. A vestige of all.
You know, it'd be really cool. Like a Warhammer, like, so you know how they did like Space Marine, right? Space Marine, great game, by the way. Really enjoy that game. But they should do like a Space Marine from the like perspective of chaos, right? So that you can like actually like see all this shit. I think that'd be a really, really cool concept, a really, really cool design choice to go for as well. Like literally, what if you were just like a World Eater, or what if you were like an Ironhand or something like that? You know what I mean? I feel like that would be really, really sick. Like, or Thousand Sun or something like that. And you actually get to see the warp fuckery and like the taint on your ship, and like what all like the possessed like serfs and shit look like. I think it'd be a really, really interesting concept. They should do like literally a Space Marine, but instead of like Titus, you're now like a Chaos Marine or something like that. I think that'd be awesome.
Creature cowered in the dark, barely sentient. A vestige of all
obviously
the worst
online you can
impulses of a
customize
tortured
for that,
soul.
but I mean like storyline
And it
wise, it'd be
asked
cool to
Khan
see that type
for
of
one
stuff.
thing. It asked for skulls. Skulls to build a skull throne.
Father,
Khan freezes. The word, half formed upon his lips, and yet spoken aloud. It brings him up short. Khan scans the darkness in the chamber recesses, the spaces between the skull piles. There, Angron's eyes smolder with their own internal light, though far less so than the last time he stood before him in this place. Then, his inhuman gaze had been fierce.
It would have to be set during the heresy and follow the fall from a loyalist to a traitor. Yeah.
The murderous glare.
Yeah,
of the
well,
God's
even
most-
I think that'd be a really, really interesting timeline. Like, again, who doesn't love the Horus Heresy? First off, I think the Horus Heresy and in terms of like architecture design, like that 30K style is just fucking iconic. Looks great. You know what I mean? The design of everything looks fantastic. Ironhand. Oh shit. What did I say? Did I say Ironhand? I meant Iron War. My bad. That's my bad. Oh, I'm sorry. I Freudian slipped there. I'm sorry. That's my bad. An Alpha Legion storyline. Alpha Legion storyline would also be pretty based actually as well. Seeing like the intrigue. Even if again, like even like a game where you're literally just like an assassin, you know, you're part of the Assassinatorium and you're just like, you could even like choose your class and maybe there's like a different storyline slightly depending on what class of assassin you play as. That'd be pretty sick too. I won't lie. I'm not going to lie. Like I would fucking do that, you know, like a little bit of like a stealth, like / Assassin's Creed / like, I don't even know, / I guess what would be like a Space Marine / like Assassin's Creed / like Thief almost, you know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of interesting.
So that not one of them could long hold it. The murderous glare of the god's most lethal creation.
Thief / like Dishonored.
Sire, it is Khan of the 8th Company. Khan, sire.
Silence, then.
Grave Grub Khan. Yes, I remember you.
It is the most lucid Angron has been for months.
How long do they live when no one takes their skulls?
Khan cannot recall the last time anyone exchanged this.
We won't understand the Alpha Legion. Besides, it would just be hard to play as them since we don't. It would just be hard to play as them since one of the main things of Alpharius is that we don't know their true loyalty. But see, that would be like part of the fun of it because you could straight up have some fun with that concept, right? Like, I would say if you're going to do Alpha Legion, make the game like non-canon, right? And straight up, you could almost have it as in like an RPG / like decision-making game as like an Alpha Legionary, you know? Like you could just show up to a situation and then like depending upon how you feel, you give them like a dialogue option or something. And now you're like doing that, you know, like you have like a good or a bad option. So you can like kind of pick and choose like the scuffed like alliances you're building as an Alpha Legionary, you know what I mean? Or like infiltration tactics. I think if they made that non-canon, it would allow like a lot of opportunity to just like fuck around and have fun. You know what I mean? Like you could get some real scuffed shit going, you know? I think that'd be kind of cool actually, you know? Because like as a player, right, with like the player chaos that like you would bring, I could see that being like a lot of like you could get up to some fucking heinous shit. That's for sure. Straight up be like the the Warhammer and Star Wars video we checked out. Oh, what was it? If an Alpha Legionary joined the Empire. That video was fucking great. Yeah, that video was fucking great. I like that. When they're all like Darth Vader, dude. That shit was fucking funny.
Skulls.
Khan cannot recall the last time anyone exchanged this many words with him. He slowly, carefully lowers himself to the floor, making sure to keep their eyes locked the entire time. Khan will answer any question, no matter how mundane, if it will hold his father here in the moment just for a while longer.
Mortals are feeble things, sire. Without intervention, they will endure for less than 100 years, and much of that is spent in pain. Do you remember the Red Sand, sire?
Khan asks quickly.
Do you remember the honor of the Caldera Amisum? Do you remember what it signifies?
Angron twitches. He peers at Khan once more, gusting from his snout. Khan continues.
When we found you, we did not know.
Better yet, dual protagonists, different objectives, conflicting motivations, and at the end, you can't tell who's even working for the Loyalists of Chaos because not even the Alpha Legions knows what they do. Yeah, like honestly, if it took on like the approach kind of like of Hitman, you know what I mean? Where you have like an overarching objective, but how you get to that objective is completely up to you. And like there's different ways to get to that objective. You know what I mean? I think that would allow for like some really like fun gameplay. I'm not going to lie. Like some really like fuck around, like get their gameplay, and then by the end of like the mission, everyone's just as fucking confused as you are. You're like, what did I even do? And why did I do it? You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of jokes. Politics, assassinations, intrigue, free choice of direction to influence, Mass Effect on crack. Yeah, like literally. Like, yeah, you'd have that infiltration aspect, but also just like, again, that free roam, like sandbox aspect as well. Because like, again, just the nature of the Alpha Legion.
It's now. Khan continues.
When we found you, we did not know what you wanted of us. Not really. Nothing we did could earn your approval. The rulers.
And that is how I would describe it too, to be honest. It would be like a sandbox type experience. I think that'd be kind of interesting.
Your rebellion was ended, and gladly joined with the Empire of Ultramar. Though you would not allow us to return there, we thought to mark the sacrifice that you and the Deshayan gladiators had unknowingly made for us, for the Imperium.
Khan plucks up a helmet from the floor. The eye lenses are broken, the grille dented inwards. The Primarch's expression is unreadable, but he has not killed Khan yet. The
current Harrow Master, Solomon Akura, is more renegade than Chaos, is he?
Yeah, the
Holy shit.
Of the Remisum, like bladed horns. When a warrior in the arena knew their mind was failing, when they had spilled too much blood and could no longer find pleasure in anything else, then they would wear them as a warning to their foes. The bout would be...
He looks to tear down and rebuild the Imperium with Chaos as a tool. Oh.
My brothers and I saw that it was a bold and noble thing to proclaim oneself beyond hope.
How close to that is he?
And so, as the warhounds became...
I assume not that close, but who knows?
Many of your veteran companies adorned their helms in this fashion. We wanted you to know that we mourned with you, and that every battle we fought at your side would be to the death.
Not for you! The mantle is not for you!
Then you remember enough to know that it did not end well, sire. We tried to learn of your past, and you killed us for it. We tried to celebrate the breaking of chains, and you killed us for it. We tried to teach you how the Imperium wages war, and instead you hammered the butcher's nails into our skulls so that we would eventually kill one another and spare you the effort.
Without warning, Angron let out a roar of inhuman hatred and rage. A roar loud enough to rattle his armor plates. And he sweeps his great blade around in flashing arcs. His throne of skulls, the throne of the Legion built at his command, is obliterated in a single heartbeat.
Damn.
Chipped teeth and fragments of bone rain down. Khan keeps his eyes closed for as long as he dares. And that can only be a second or two. The demon is breathing hard. Less than a meter from his face.
Oh my god.
When Angron speaks, Khan can see the sharp, iron fangs glinting in his maw.
If you wish to prove yourself to me, Khan of the Legion, then you must follow this path to its end. We were all born to bleed, but the gods' favor is not given easily or quickly. You must pay for it with blood and skulls. Blood enough to drown the stars, and skulls beyond number. The Crusader will tell you as much.
I'm just saying, Khan, or Angron. I'm just saying, Angron, fucking Khan's gonna have you goddamn beat one of these days. You're saying this to him now, but you don't know who the fuck you're messing with. This man's gonna have a kill count to number the fucking galaxy, dude. The Necron's kill count is gonna look pansy compared to Khan's, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Ida will tell you as much.
You mean Lord Aurelian?
Angron does not appear to recognize the name. Khan exhales slowly.
As we feared they would, sire. The word-bearers have left us. Our fleet now stands alone, deep within Ultima Segmentum.
Then why do you keep me here? Why do you keep me in the dark?
This is your flagship, sire. Your place is with us. We spill blood together, so that you may remain.
Angron shudders, screwing his eyes shut, and letting out a vile sound that could almost be a whimper.
No! No! The Legion is not mine. Not anymore. The Blood God calls to me.
Oh my
He is
God.
calling me to his side. To...
Sire, I assure you we are free to.
No! Reality itself drags against these
No.
imperfect limbs. My strength is failing. I should be so much more. But you will not let...
The Primarch begins to claw at his own face.
This is not freedom! It is slavery!
Khan falls to his knees. It wounds his soul to see him suffer like this, and to know that they keep him here for their own selfish reasons. It is far more than slaughterer for slaughter's sake. It is for their sins. They have shackled Angron to the material realm, as Lorgar had urged them, because they simply do not wish to lose their father again. Khan does not wish to lose him. But if this loss of self is the price for immortality, then Khan never wishes to follow in his footsteps. Khan does not wish to lose him, but he will not lose himself. The Demon Prince rises to his full height, opening those leathery wings so wide they almost touch the pillars on each side of the hall. The deck beneath his cloven hooves begins to shudder.
That's why
As
Karn is one of the
otherworldly
favorite
energies
champions of
whirl about
Corrin, not the broken toy named
roars
Angron.
again.
Damn, dude.
Bringing dust from the
That is
arches
true, though.
above.
I will have blood! Blood! Blood for the Blood God! Blood for my Lord Gorn!
See, like, at least, like, Karn, like, might be a radical, but he's not, like, that radical. You know what I mean? Because, like, you know, and I get it, he's a demon and all now, but, like, come on now. It's a little radical, you know? Like, we get it. You like your blood, Angron, but, like, you know, Karn's a lot more civil about it, you know, collecting his skulls. He's a lot more humble about it, let's call it, you know?
Gorn!
Perturabo and his Iron Warriors had found them. The 12th Legion, the rambling horde on the remains of another world butchered. For nearly a decade, the Horus Heresy has ravaged the Imperium, and changed traitor and loyalist alike.
Purdy name drop, true.
But now Horus is ready. Ready to unseat the false Emperor upon Terra, and begins the summoning of his
Karn's
traitorous
warband in
race.
40k is called the Butcher Horde.
Rich
Holy
shrouded in
fuck.
mist, Perturabo,
Based.
Lord of Iron.
Yeah, that's
called
not very
together
discreet,
a
is it?
single warrior. He was twitching, as if restraining some great impulse. Leave, Khan growls. Leave before it is too late. But the moment the Iron Warriors had taken defensive positions, it was already too late. From the mist, the stampeding horde of butchers, lost to the nails, careened towards the 4th Legion trench. From the sky, the silhouette of a winged giant descended. Angron slammed into the earth, molten rock and steam oozing from his enlarged crimson form. The Iron Warrior line barked with bolt of fire, into the onrushing World Eaters, the Berserkers slamming into careful shield walls. From the Lord of Iron's side, his constructs surrounded the demon, unleashing point-blank scatter rounds. Blood cooked and rose in charring globules. By any reason, the creature should be dead, but this was simply not a creature of destruction. It was a force of annihilation that was not meant to share the same realm as mortals. An axe formed in Angron's hand, and he began to swing. Its edge was a slit of sharpened light. Reality tore as it cut, and smoke bled from the wounds in the crumbling iron circle. But to the Lord of Iron they had already fulfilled their purpose. Angron slumped forward, his demonic form gouged and pouring wounds. But the rage within was pure and blinding. Demonic axe descended towards the Lord of Iron, only for a Primarch forged hammer to slam into Angron's chest. You are weak, snarled Perturabo. You are a slave. You were born a slave, and a slave you remain.
Damn, dude.
Demon and superhuman traded blows as their sons died around them, each dealing goring strikes. You have grown weaker, Angron, Perturabo taunted.
Damn.
I have remade my strength. while you have sold out yours in despair. The tumult of punishment finally took its toll, and the howling demonic Angron faltered. An opportunity seized by Perturabo. Pummeling blows from Perturabo's Forge Breaker, kicking Angron down to his knees. Again and again the hammer rocketed into Angron's bleeding form. Armor shattered, teeth and bone broke, until the chosen the Blood God was slung to the floor. The fighting around the two Primarchs ceased.
Angron gets his ass
as Angron
beat.
dragged his charred and bleeding form up.
Yeah, it really does seem like Angron actually did get weaker in a sense once he like went to demon form. Or at least he seems to get beat more, which is kind of crazy, almost.
Mark ceased, as Angron dragged his charred and bleeding form up. You have
Dreadlock battle? Yeah, literally.
Shoreline.
Different kinds of dreadlocks, but yeah.
His voice held no anger, no rage. It was empty. All is sand. Red sand under our feet. Now the tide comes in. Perturabo turned towards the sky. An Ultramarine's fleet had broken the warp storms. The World Eaters and Iron Warriors Vanguard fleet was outnumbered. And if they stayed, they would be destroyed from orbit. You will die here, said Angron. You will die with us.
Ascending is more of a side grade than an upgrade. That's a good way to describe it, actually. It's not really an upgrade, because there is a lot of downsides for it.
Angron seemed to flinch.
It's like becoming a
As if his
vampire in
name was
Skyrim,
shot
almost.
down. As if the man underneath the beast was a buried thing, drowning and rarely surfacing from an ocean of rage. I speak
Pretty
to the
soulless
warrior who
damaged
was
at
my
that time,
brother
and he
in
still
life.
managed to get shit done with
You
Angron?
cannot
Wow.
die. You
That's
are
kinda
cursed
based.
to the eternal. You may stand here
Still
and watch
beat his
your
ass.
sons and mine fall, but you will not be released. You will never be released.
Oh.
Not if a river of blood flows. It matters not, so long as it flows,
Damn.
roared Angron. You have a choice, said Perturabo. Perhaps the last choice you can make. Angron froze. I shall stand with you, Angron. We were only brothers by blood, but here and now, I shall stand with you, if you choose. We shall fight, and I shall fall as you wished to fall before our father denied you the death you craved,
Fulgrim nearly ate
Or
Pretty Soul, if you remember.
can come
Oh,
with
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
and face our father. I put
Yeah,
my
I do
life
vaguely
and the
recall
lives
that.
of my warriors in your
At
hands,
Fulgrim, true.
brother.
Fulgrim
said
is a big
Perturabo.
F.
The demon Angron rose to
Unless
full
it's
height,
clone Fulgrim.
towering
And then it's
above
kind of based,
Perturabo.
actually.
The Iron Warriors and World Eaters stood in bated breath. Violence on a knife's edge. Angron made his choice. The last he would ever have. From the world of Ulanor, where once a favored son was crowned War Master, the forces of the traitor legions assembled. Horus, chosen of chaos, led the dark triumph.
Bringing Clone
Each
Grim,
legion
I need it.
sacrificing
Yeah,
a
dude.
portion of their
It's
warriors
actually a
to
really
Damien.
cool concept, I won't
As a
lie.
War
I
Master's
could get
armada
behind that
finally
really,
roared
really hard.
towards the heart of the Imperium. Terror.
If Fulgrim was a loyalist,
Hundreds of thousands of void ships slammed into the
I fucking love the purple armor. I don't
Traitor
know.
army and merchant
Not
fleets
gonna
that
lie.
suck up the fire and explosions as las cannon batteries unleashed from the Imperial Fist, Blood Angel and White Scar fleets. Cathedral ships the size of titans die in their hundreds, as a never-ending wave of traitors systematically push closer and closer towards the throne world, through rituals of chaos. Strewn in the blood and broken bonds, the sun.
You could have him
grows
fighting
dark.
himself at times, true.
Its light eclipsed through a black sky.
Even that would be a good, like, non-canon game, to be honest with you. If that's what they wanted to do. If they wanted to have, like, an idea like that, but, like, you know, they didn't want to, like, fuck around with any of, like, the hardcore, like, already established lore. Yeah, like, make a game where it's, like, straight up, like, the Fulgrim clone is around. You know what I mean? And, like, you could either play as the Fulgrim clone, or, like, maybe you play as, like... well, no, I'd say you play as the Fulgrim clone. And you have to, like, essentially, like, clear your name and, like, take down, like, the traitor Fulgrim, essentially. That would be a fucking... That'd be a pretty cool, like... game, I think, honestly. I think that'd be a really cool concept. If you like purple, the Soul Drinkers are very awesome in purple. Plus a super cool chapter. What legion are they part of, the Soul Drinkers? I don't know if I've heard of them before.
Broken bonds, the sun goes dark. Its light eclipsed through a black scar in real space. Claws and wisps of phantoms line the edges of the main traitor Hastati's fleet that plows through. The vengeful spirit, the pride of the Emperor and the Conqueror tear into real space.
Games Workshop would never greenlight that. Yeah, that's the problem.
I will be first upon
It all depends
terror.
on Games Workshop, and they'll never do anything like that.
You are not worthy. It is my honor. Khorne demands it. The blood decrees
Rumored to be
it.
Dorn,
You shall
okay.
burn in lakes of fire for your temerity. Again, Angron's rage was unsated. The weeks had passed, and yet still the Red Angel and his World Eaters had not set foot upon Terra. The bombardments had never ceased. Terra was burning. Yet those of the warp, such as Angron, and his demonic brethren were barred by the Emperor's telenetic wards. The War Master Horus had not moved from his dark throne, empowered by the Four. As the War Master battled their father within the warp, weakening a grip that would not release fast enough for Angron. Khan walked cautiously through the mortal quarters. A slick dried layer of blood covered nearly every inch. A mountain of corpses clung to the walls, most dying from the trampling and suffocation of avoiding the monster. Angron had been unleashing himself upon legionaries daring
In the novel,
to rush
there's
ahead
a sanguinary
before he had a
priest that
chance to
can't even
filter his
identify
sand
their
blood
gene stock.
first. Khan unhooked
Certainly
the
not
teleport
Imperial
within
fist stock.
and
Okay,
proceeded in a
weird.
crouch with his axe ready.
So they're really just like a
He did
big
not
question
need
mark
to fight
almost.
to win. Only long enough to
Lost
tag his
Legion gene
father
stock.
with a
Maybe,
device.
maybe. Yeah, if they
Father.
can't be identified, that would make sense.
Father, it is I, Khan. His amplified voice echoed through the dark hold. Khan.
Khan.
Lord Khorne demands blood and skulls. Do you not hear his cries? Blood and skulls. The guttural voice grew. I
Blood and
do not
skulls.
hear him, my lord. Khan lied.
No, you're fucking crazy.
You will. He values you, my son. Heavy footsteps thumped deep in the stacks. Knocked chains jangled. These slaves are unworthy offerings for the blood god. But you, Khan, your skull would make a fine gift. Angron came out of nowhere. The hulking winged. Red mass smashed next to him. Khan parried the blow with the chain axe Gorechild, and felt every bone.
Angron has schizophrenia also? I mean, pretty
am
much.
The avatar of rage.
Listen to how he
The Red
talks,
Angel
dude.
screamed. The power
definitely
of the
bipolar
warp
or
runs
something.
through me, my son. I will not be chained like a dog any longer. Not by the Emperor, not by Horus, and not by you.
You can call it the
Fool
butcher's
to have
nails, but we
come
all know
here.
it's just him being
I
bipolar.
will kill you. There will be blood. There will be skulls. Khorne cares not whence the blood flows. Khan leapt from the shadows, behind his demonic father, and sunk the teleporter into his leathery flesh. Angron howled
Oh, excuse
and
me.
sent Khan flying, his body smashing into the blood-slick walls with a crunch. You have no honor, attacking from behind.
No water?
Yellow eyes blazed. No true son of mine would stoop so low. We are warriors. Khan readied himself. His muscles burned. Gorechild shook in his weakened grip. Father, he said in a drool-soaked growl, I do not wish to fight you. You have no choice. There is only war. The black sword hurtled down again. Khan could not block it. He knew. But he held Gorechild ready to deflect the blade, and prepared for the blow that would land before he died. Lightning skittered over the demon Primarch. Wisps of corporean streamed off his body in a white fog. Then, with a clap of air rushing suddenly into a vacuum, Angron was gone.
Oh,
Angron appeared in a blaze of
just got
teleport light.
yeeted out.
His black sword was still chopping down, and it smashed into the deck of an unfamiliar room. He wrenched the weapon from the metal, ready to slay his son for the greater glory of the Blood God. But Khan was not there. Angron growled. His rage was checked for a moment. The ship smelled strange. Its sounds were different. He sniffed the air. He was alone. Alone within a prison designed for a Primarch. The Nightfall. An entire maze vessel gifted to Conrad Kurz from the mind of Perturabo.
Oh my god.
His torturous chambers still reeked from the blood of
What kind of
bird.
sick fuck comes up with that?
His labyrinth halls could keep a Primarch lost within.
Kurz, I guess.
But it could not
Makes
hold
sense,
the
but
demon
like
Primarch
what?
of Khold forever. Lasfire from mounted guns began to pepper Angron. He raised his axe and sword and began to obliterate. Screams of blood and skulls echoed and reverberated through the nightfall. As the encirclement of the Imperial Palace began, Ceramite walls were sheared through as a demigod's fury sought to escape. Crude machines fitted with Salamander Isfahan survivors threw themselves at Angron. Their unwilling pilot's torment finally ended by axe and sword. After days, Angron finally cut his way to the edge, a strike plunging him into the vacuum of space.
The labyrinth was made by Purdy? Yeah, the labyrinth was made by Purdy, but it was commissioned by Kurz, allegedly, is what he said there. So Perturabo built it, but Kurz is the sick fuck that wanted it built to begin with, apparently. If I heard that correctly.
Vacuum of space. Atop the titan of metal, Angron peered down at Terra, catching sight as his own Legion ships were soaring down towards the throne world. Horus, Horus, Angron had shouted. Against the laws of nature, his voice was heard in the vacuum. Angron leapt, cloven wings trailing as he rocketed down towards the place of his birth. It hit the ground, sending out a billow of flame that raced over traitor and loyalist alike. "Father!" roared the giant. His furious, brazen voice was empowered
Oh,
by
Poppy,
the
I'm
violence,
here.
thundering louder than any cannonade, and audible over the racket of battle. "I have
Very
come
Greek-like.
for you."
Yeah, literally the Minotaur in the
creature of
maze,
rippling
unironically.
crimson skin
That is kind of
and
cool.
leathery wings stood giant. It was rage incarnate, and the Imperial trench line filled with mortal and Hastatis froze in fear. The World Eaters came loping behind, their chain asses revving as they chanted praise to their lord and the Blood
Purdy
God.
was basically from an ancient
Over White
Greek
Scar,
planet, so yeah,
Blood
it is
Angel and
accurate.
Death Guard corpses. Angron and his sons
There's a lot of
began
like
hacking
Greek
skulls
mythology
from the
/
dead
history
and
/
living
Roman
alive.
history as well mixed into
"Blood
this.
and skulls!" the giant howled. "Blood for the Blood God!" Across the lines of the Helios Gate, World Eaters and Night Lords stormed, clashing into the ranks of Imperial Fists and Blood Angels. Angron rose into the air, catching sight of another angel upon the wall. Sanguinius.
Sanguinius.
Oh, so perfect, Sanguinius. From the sky, Angron soared towards his brother in challenge, only to crash into the Emperor's telenetic shield, sending him staggering back. "Sanguinius," Angron growled. "Face me, let us fight you and I. You shall not pass over these walls, nor under or through them, until our father decrees it," said Sanguinius. "You know this to be true." Angron snarled. "Then come out and fight me, Red Angel to Red Angel.
Time to
On
crack a
this field
planet.
of battle where father can no longer interfere." Sanguinius simply saluted his brother, pity in his eyes for the man he could have been. "We will fight, my brother, but not today," said Sanguinius. Angron roared and wheeled around, plunging into the mortal army line and sending motes of blood and mud into the air. World Eaters and Night Lords tumbled from the walls as the Imperials closed the Helios Gate. The siege had reached the first walls, and when Horus had weakened the Emperor enough, Angron would breach it. Weeks, months, the skies of Terra have darkened to a permanent night, clogged with ash and smoke.
Greek,
outer
Roman,
walls
Mongol,
have fallen,
Viking, Egyptian, Slavic,
and the
basically
bodies
any
grow in their
major
thousands and in
ancient
their
empire
millions.
is repped in 40k.
The jewel
Yeah.
of the Imperium had
And it's
been made
noticeable
ugly
too
by
when it
Dawn's
does happen.
defensive redesign.
Like it's
The man was
very
little more than scarred
easy to
rubble.
see like where the inspiration came
Loyalists
from in
looked
a
to the
sense.
sky in terror. As in almost relentless assaults, a winged creature with cloven tread hunts. He is an unleashed beast. A horrific fusion of man and demon. No longer on the leash of the War Master. The Lion's Gate spaceport had fallen. And finally the first true demons manifested on Terra. The Emperor's psychic ward shrinks more and more. And soon the inner sanctum will be breached. From spires that reach to the clouds and to gatehouses, they were swarmed in the battle of hundreds of thousands of Hastatis, where a red angel rampages heedlessly, the nails in his head now singing as his son's designs. He is a rewired creature, who no longer lets the nails give him peace. Only pleasure at the blood and skulls he offers to Khorne. A lone human atop a pile of rubble screams at Angron. The snarling
Lionel
beast
Johnson is a
turns
man from
slowly.
the 18th century history
Smoke and soot in the air
who
as
also
it
had a great
permanent
secret.
ends.
Oh, Lionel Johnson is an
The man
actual
is
person?
screaming at him.
Really?
A lone flag beholding
I had no idea.
the Emperor of Mankind behind him. Angron can smell his fear. For most to
Curse
look
comes from the
upon him
book
inspires
Apocalypse Now
unbearable
is based
dread
on.
and
Oh,
rage.
really?
Yet this one
I had no idea
defies
about
him.
that either.
Come on then,
Although that kind of makes
the man
sense.
yells. Show me what all the fuss is about. Angron sloped forward and began to charge. Throne of Terror! Throne of Terror! The man roared in defiance.
2 men enter,
Bathed in
1
blood.
man leaves.
Angron raised his fist to the sky. He flexed his arms, spread his gigantic wings, and let out a roar so loud. Entire structures shook, and the banner of the Emperor, soaked in sprays of blood, slipped from its broken pole and fluttered to the ground. Angron brought down
Imperial
his
Guard as
fists.
badass as always, yeah. Fucking
eternity
staring down
gate.
Angron.
The bastion before the inner sanctum and throne room itself. For
Honest
months,
question.
The layered defense.
If it was gonna happen, right? A theoretical like versus, right? How many Imperial Guard to take down Demon Angron? How many? Like any number, but he has to be taken down. How many Imperial Guard do you think it'd be? Genuine question.
has fought unrelenting waves of traitor assault. Fulgrim became.
There can be as many
Magnus the
Imperial
Red
Guard
had
deployed on the field as needed.
Mortarion
Oh.
had been banished to the warp at the cost of Jagatai Khan's life. Perturabo had abandoned the War Master. Yet the last gate stood before the traitor host. Millions have died.
Billions?
Almost all equipment on both sides is failing. The warp runs rampant, as demons run alongside.
1 or
traitor
2
assaults.
billion fucking men just
Sanguinius.
sprinting at
The
Angron?
great angel stands. His wounds are grievous. Yet the corpse of the mighty demon prince Kabanda dissipates back into the warp before him.
Kabanda.
A roar robs the loyalists of their victory, as a shadow is rocketing down to meet his brother.
1,000 lasguns
white
take down
wings,
greater
Sanguinius
demons and
soars up
demon
to meet
engines. That's
Angron.
true.
The angel and demon
Lasguns are
clash
pretty
in the air,
powerful, to be fair, comparatively
beneath the sky the
speaking.
color of blood, drawing breaths that taste of murder. The first impact of blade against blade is a metallic thundercrack, while their sons wage the war below, fighting and dying in the shadows of their
That's a cool
father's
illustration
wings.
too, not gonna lie.
A searing cut blinds Angron, not before his monstrous claws grasp Sanguinius around the head and chest.
Jesus.
His sight is gone, yet the smell of the angel's existing wounds is sweet. The brothers plunge through the clouds and rocket into the ground. Mud, ash and blood splashing out in a wave. Angron begins to smash Sanguinius' head against the rock again and again.
Heavy last cannon, there's the
until
chat.
Angron's
Oh.
arm obliterates. Sanguinius rises and discards his Inferno pistol and raises his sword. Terran steel meets black demonic edge, in a clang that reverberates for miles around them. The brothers are snarling in each other's face. Then they are elsewhere. They are on New Syria, witnessing the sunset in the cold of the mountain air. It is the night before the High Riders are coming. The Eaters of Cities are still alive and around them. Angron feels his family's presence. He feels the nails sting, but still he is happy. Then the vision shifts back to terror, as broken and bloody Sanguinius thrusts his spear through Angron's gut. Die, Sanguinius tells him, with the gentleness of giving a great gift. I free you from this torment. Angron's mouth simply smiles as he batters the angel away. Then he gives chase. Once again, the two angels soar into the clouds, over the furious battle below. Sanguinius is faster, but Angron is stronger. This is your chance. This is what you were born for. Do not fail me, Angron. The twisted voice of Horus rams into his mind.
If only Sanguinius had an
From the
Emperor
clouds, the
sword,
angel's
and
spear
Angron could have been
rammed
dealt with
Angron's
permanently, yeah.
Sending him careening into
Really would
the
have saved a
middle
lot of
the
trouble,
battlefield.
eh?
His impact crushes
Man.
100 Astartes on both sides. The nails abate for a moment. Sanguinius is faster, so Angron will draw him in. Angron rises to his full height, his wounds already smoking and re-knitting. He plunges forward into the Blood Angels, sending bodies tumbling and cutting them apart into chunks.
Ooh.
Like a beacon, Sanguinius plunges down from the sky, slamming into Angron and beginning the trading of blows. The fury of exchange is unmatched. It is a blur of sparks and blood even to the Astartes' eyes. Yet Sanguinius' strikes become deflections, then goring trades. The Lord of the Red Sand sees his dawn upon the angel's face. How the longer they fight, the weaker only one of them becomes. A giant's talon rips forward and clutches Sanguinius' face. Brother,
Ooh.
Angron wheezes. It is a struggle for Angron to speak, but a lifetime of business is dragged up, seen through the agony in his brother's beautiful eyes. Angron, Sanguinius splatters back. Angron pulls his brother's face closer and watches the life leave him as he begins to squeeze. The voice of Horus is screaming again in Angron's head, but it is already too late.
Ooh.
An agony so unbearable sears through Angron's skull. It is fire and ice, a pain so great that all other pains before is nothing.
Ooh.
Sanguinius, his hands wrapped around the tendrils of the butcher's nails, wrenches harder as Angron howls. Unbridled clarity twitches through Angron. He remembers. He is Angron, Lord of the Red Sands. He is the son of gladiator Onomaus. He is a scared boy in the mountain. He is the bulwark of others' pain. He is a freedom fighter. He is an eater of cities. He is a father to sons. Angron's vision flickers.
Well, he's not really
And
a father
there,
to sons.
The hold in the bloodshot, pinprick eyes of Sanguinius is a true rage.
Don't know if I'd call
a
him
pure,
that.
naive thing born of true justice. It is everything Angron ever wanted, and the spike of true and utter jealousy magnifies his pain. From behind the veil, Angron hears laughter. A god laughing at him, because it cares not whence the blood flows. The death of the Lord of the Red Sands is as pleasing to his divinity as the death of any other champion. Cables tear. Angron is writhing as Sanguinius begins to rip the top of his skull from his head. In that bleakest moment of pain, on both a physical and spiritual level, Angron commits the greatest sin to his existence. A whining "No!" escapes his maw.
No!
As Angron begs
No,
for mercy.
please! Please,
Sanguinius tears
mercy!
Angron's butcher's nails, scalp and brain, and raises it into the air like a bloody trophy.
Fuck.
The corpse of Angron falls slack before the Eternity Gate, and his soul flows into the warp.
Damn.
Angron's mind awakens.
Just fucking skull ripped
He is
him.
alone. He is dead. His mind is clear. For the first time in centuries, his mind is his own. He feels peace.
Korn doesn't care about
He has
Angron.
earned
Never
his
saw it
black
coming.
twist.
Never saw it
It is
coming.
glorious. The relief is unlike anything he had felt before. He is a free man. He is now no longer someone's slave.
Oh yeah?
Angron begins to hear laughter. Then the pain begins to return. The rage of a war god begins to grow like a heat within him. as the monstrous form of human nightmare begins to reforge. Angron begins to howl. He raises his axes and sword, as his lord prepares him to fight a war that will never end. Blood for the blood god, he screams. Skulls for the skull throne.
Wow. Is that it, guys? I think that's it. Wow. That was Angron, how freedom turned to damnation. What a great video by the Amber King. And I have to say, too, I really enjoyed the illustration direction that the Amber King has taken in his newer videos, right? It's done a little bit differently, but I do like it. It's a little bit more interactive, a little bit easier to follow. The pictures, the illustrations look really nice, along with the mild like animation that he's got with it too. I have to say, I really like this style, and it was great to see a retelling of Angron's story through the Amber King. Again, when we first checked out Angron's video, I believe it was the very first reaction stream we ever did on the channel. It was, in fact, very first reaction stream we ever did on the channel, and it was Warrior Tears video on Angron, which was also fantastic as well. Hard to compare the two, of course, because again, like, they're both fantastic creators and they both go for a different style of video. But again, very well made video here by the Amber King. Fantastic work as always, and yeah, really can't recommend that enough. If you guys enjoyed, of course, go over there and leave a like on this video. If you watch the reaction with me here and you're not liked up on his video, of course, go over there right now and leave a like on it. And yeah, without any further delay, I mean, we're already liked up here. Let me just check something real quick here. Actually, let me just see something real quick, because actually I need to make sure I did something properly on my side of things, saying that now, because I think maybe I made a blunder. Actually, let's just see real quickly here. Let's just see real quick. I just want to make sure this works. 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. There we go. Okay, there we go. That was my bad. But now it's fixed. All right, but yeah, no. But that was a fantastic video. I really enjoyed that one, guys, I have to say. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the reactions, as always, please do hit that like button. It does help out a ton. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. And of course, big thank you to all of our members. As always, you know, we have a lot of members in here, so I do appreciate you guys. We are getting more members pretty consistently, I have to say, and the growth on the channel too, the last week or so. Again, streaming, I've been doing a lot of streams with games lately, and I have to say, streaming on portrait mode, it has been noticeably increasing the amount of people to the channel, the amount of exposure our channel has been getting. And yeah, we've been getting a lot of new people in here lately, especially with the streams. So that's great to see. If you guys know anybody that would be interested in our streams, interested in hanging out, playing some games with us, whatever have you, of course, please do share that with us. You know, it's always great having as many people in here as we can. You know what I mean? I do appreciate it a ton. Holy shit, Steven, thank you. I appreciate that. Sent a gift membership. Whoa, appreciate that, man. Big thank you to Steven there, eh? Everyone give a big shout out to him. Big thank you there, Steven, for that gifted membership. Appreciate that a lot, man. Wow, thank you. Thank you for that, man. But yeah, if you guys have anyone that you think would enjoy the channel, please do share it, because it does mean a lot. And you know, nothing would make me happier than hitting 5K before the end of this year. If we could hit 5,000 subscribers in our first year, guys, that would be fucking insanity. I don't think we're going to, but you know, it doesn't hurt to be wishful thinking. It doesn't hurt to be an optimist, you know. But yes, guys, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, this was a great stream, and yeah, we're probably going to be streaming a little bit more. Well, I'm gonna sleep for a little bit, but probably tomorrow we're gonna be streaming. I'm not sure if we're gonna do some Star Sector first or some Red Dead Redemption. I'm not too sure. We'll see what I'm feeling at the time when it comes around. But yeah, without any further delay, I'll see you guys there. This has been Centurion, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.